Right, court rise.
Court ready. So normally when you get to the court and then the court is about to say court ready, then you hear the clerk, one of the officers, smack at the door. Then you hear the sound.
Bang, bang, bang,
Court
bang.
is ready. Then all of you have to rise.
All rise.
So that is the mood and that is the feeling. And once whatever you are doing, you need to rise. If you don't, there are consequences.
When you go to Rome, you do what Romans do.
Absolutely.
But let's look at a review of some of the things that happened in court, especially as, like they say, they are rising. Parliament rose.
Yes.
So court also rose yesterday.
Absolutely.
And they're on legal vacation till October.
Yes.
At this point, I wish I was a lawyer.
Yeah. So this is the
I
moment.
get to enjoy some vacation.
Yeah, this is the moment that a lot of the lawyers will have to. It's a very long year. In fact, the workload, the kind of things that I've had opportunity to interact with some of the lawyers, and really, it is not easy.
Yeah.
Yes. Case day in and day out, one case, the other, next, and you just have to prepare for each of them. You don't come to the court and say that you are not ready. You have to be ready. But of course, the legal vacation is in day 2. It started yesterday, and today is the second day. Initially, when you are there, you feel like what is happening. But not all the courts are closed.
Yeah.
So you notice that yesterday we were at the circuit court in Achimota. Yes, for the circuit court and the district court, they are sitting and all that. But the superior court, high court, court of appeal, and the Supreme Court, when you go there, the registry, you see the officers, the registry will be open and all that. Some of the staff, sometimes it's compulsory that once these courts are on vacation, you also will automatically go on leave and all that. But of course, the registries are, if you want to file any case, you can file it. But of course, the court, as in going to the courtroom for sittings to go in here, you will not see that. But the high court, there will be few vacation courts that will be. So like I was saying yesterday, we were at the circuit court in Achimota. And that was because there was a case involving a legal practitioner, yes. And we were told that he was involved in some alleged forgery. In fact, Mr. Lawyer Joseph Kosam, he pleaded not guilty. He said that no, he didn't commit that offense. And for that matter, those charges that were brought up against him is not true. In fact, he was arraigned together with the chief and 3 siblings. Can you imagine? And then and another sibling, the complainant in the matter is also one of the siblings. So it's more like a family fight.
Yeah,
and then
it's
the
a
lawyer,
family
absolutely,
affair.
family affair, and the lawyer got himself involved in all that. So those are scenes at the Achimota, or the circuit court in Achimota yesterday. So he pleaded not guilty, was granted bail in the sum of 200,000 Ghana cedis, 3 sureties, and one of them the court is saying should earn at least, public servant who's earning not less than 3,000 Ghana cedis. But he made the bail conditions eventually, as of the time that I was living in. The chief, who was also involved, as you can see, the one in that traditional crow, and that is the lawyer on your screen over there. So he met his bail condition, and we have to come back to the court on the 15th of August because 2 of the accused persons are on the run. So as we speak, 3 of them are in court. The lawyer's plea has been taken. The chief's plea has been taken. But one of the siblings, we were told that was only arrested the day before yesterday. So they will need to amend the charge sheet to reflect his details. So the court has directed that be done. And on the 15th of August, they'll be back in court for his plea to be taken, while the 2 others are also being sought for. So that is what happened at the circuit court in Achimota.
Okay. Now, yesterday, they signed off for the legal year.
Yes.
And how did it go?
Yes.
What were the activities they embarked on?
Do you remember those days in school? They said our day. It's our day. Those days, how do you prepare for our day?
Hey, I don't sleep.
You don't sleep.
I tell
overnight.
my family what I want to eat.
Yes.
I want Fanta. I want some biscuits. I want chicken.
Those days you get all the chickens, you get all the eggs that you want, and probably you get some biscuit along line. Then the cook, that bottle one. It's always like that. So in fact, the judicial service was putting together. They were signing off for the legal vacation. In fact, they put out some workouts. How often do you exercise?
I exercise on the staircase.
So you take that as a routine exercise. So this is the forecourt of the law court complex.
Oh, okay.
And all these people that you see there are not people who just walk on, and that is the court manager. The lady in charge of the law court complex.
Okay.
So all the people you see on the screen there are staff who work at the judiciary. Some of them work with the units have been put together in various divisions. We have the general jurisdiction, and general jurisdiction is one of the highest number of court that you can find in the law court complex, 42 high court, and you have come as more than 17 general jurisdiction. So they tell you the kind of cases that they are. Then we will come to the criminal court. These are also officers of the criminal court who are manning the registrars, the secretaries, the clerks, all of them. Then you go to the labor court. When you go to the high court, there's the labor court, there's the land court, human rights court, and then of course a lot of them, and then the registries. So all of them came together, and then they put together this exercise, a workout, all work and no play, make Jack a dog.
So what is this? This is like a workout to end the legal year.
But
do they work out every day when they go to court?
Some of them do.
Okay.
So you could see from the videos that on your screen that some of them are not struggling at all. But for those who do not, you could see
that one in the Ghana jersey.
You could see. So that is the effect. You could see that some of them are really enjoying themselves, and it's telling you about the fact that when you are working and you don't have the opportunity to work out, some of them will just start, and before you realize you're already burning out already and all that. So this is how the law court comes. In fact, they also did that together with it's a headquarters, the HR department. So you see clerks, and some of them were rewarded. And there was a tug of war exercise at the end of
now they say tug of peace.
Tug of peace, yeah. So if there's war, you have to just go there and then fight and then. So that is how they decided to sign off by way. It's something that they do virtually sometime every month, once every month.
Okay.
But of course, they decided to put this one more like a grand one, just so to say goodbye to 2023, 2024 legal year. So that is what the picture was at the law court complex when the judicial staff decided. In fact, being led by the landowner, so the landlady, I might say, and the man you see on your screen, an Arsenal jersey. Pretty shortly, he was telling us about what this whole exercise is all about, and then why they decided to do this and what they look forward to in the next year. I was telling you about the court manager, the court manager for the law court complex, Mrs. Patricia Na Afali Datsin. She's a lawyer. Yes, she's a lawyer. And she's in charge of. So when you go to the law court complex and you don't see her, then it means that you cannot do much. You cannot do much. Okay, so these are some of the things that took place at the judiciary and back on legal vacation. There's really quite a lot of activities that they did, a lot of that. You know, Lily, that's virtually every day, right?
Yes.
That's virtually every day.
Yes. I'm always dancing, I'm always singing.
Absolutely. So, and you know why ladies would take advantage of situations like when you go for a workout, there are a lot of things that you see when the songs are come, those who love songs and others.
Yes.
You really enjoy. And these are moments that you see as Aboni also. They are, of course. Like you see, some of them will come and entertain. Lantam is better at it. Lantam is good at it. So this is how the staff and then the leadership, the unit heads, the registrars decided to end the 2023-2024 legal year. So they want to go in strong, come back as strong as in. So
that is if they exercise while they're on vacation.
Who
exercises when they're on vacation?
That's also another issue. When you go on vacation, the more like you have to go and
rest,
enjoy
enjoyment.
And all that. Okay. So, but let's go and hear from Mr. Nana Nkrumah Banagod. In fact, he has been telling us about what this whole exercise is all about.
Just like we put it every time, a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. And as you work, you need to be in your best of shape so that you can deliver. So like we And because we are coming to the end of the legal year, we decided to make it big so that all can participate and have fun. That's what it's all about. Registries. We have the GJ, which is general jurisdiction. We have the commercial registry. We have the land registry. And then we have the probate, which is also attached. And we used to have HR, but now it's been moved to the head office. So those are the ones that we put together to make up what we did today. Today has been massive. This has been the third time that we are doing this, but today's participation has been incredible. You can see the enthusiasm of every member. We hope that going forward, we'll do much better than this, so that
so that's the man in charge of.
Yeah, that's the man who was telling us about what this whole exercise is all about. So men, women,
I hear he's in charge of ICT.
Yes, he's in charge of. In fact, he's part of the ICT maintenance team, and then a member of support staff at the judiciary. So when you go to the law court complex and there are issues with ICT and all that, they are the men that you see. Quite recently, when the CJ directed that, look, cases at the LGBT cases should be televised. In fact, he was the man that we reach out to help us with the connection, the feed, and all that. So it's giving us a fair idea of what this whole exercise. So every month they do it. So Lily, once you have time, you can pass by.
Hopefully,
and then exercise
by the time they are back, I'll be joining them every month.
The last time talk about the fact that he wants to exercise. So I think I should recommend it.
You should. Every month he should.
And I think Musa Lansa will also need an exercise like this. Yes, I do.
Good morning, boss. We are just greeting you. We are just greeting.
Today is Friday. It is allowed.
Yeah, so it's allowed. Greeting is allowed.
We don't advise people on Fridays, but this one.
Anyway, so let's look at the things you do today. You're meeting the CJ?
Yes. So end of legal term. So the Chief Justice is engaging the Judicial Press Corps today to fine-tune, see some of the things. So there will be a lot of conversation. You notice that the very first time that she met us, we had moment to interact with her, ask questions, all the questions that were bothering our minds, we did. And for those who watched those moments, so these are excerpts from the last court, the last moment that the Judicial Secretary with the mic over there, Justice Pamela, and then some of the staff also, Justice Arit Stembo there, and then Rosemary Gazy, Deputy Communication Director at the Judiciary. So today, we'll have that opportunity again to engage the Chief Justice. Today will be the second time that she's engaging the Judicial Press Corps. So once the Judiciary is on vacation, she'll be telling us more what the plan says, and we also have moment to ask some few questions that probably will be bothering your mind. So if you have any questions that you think that we should ask the Chief Justice, you can just pass it on and it will be asked. So that is what we expect coming on this morning. In fact, sometime around 10 in the morning, 10 o'clock this morning. So I strictly
one of the things that immediately comes to mind is whether she regrets the decision of nominating certain persons, especially with the backlash.
For the Supreme Court.
Exactly, especially with the backlash.
So it's a question that definitely it will feature in this very engagement and all that. So for all your questions, we'll have the opportunity and you'll find them here once we have that engagement.
So if you have any question in your mind, you can send them to our various social media pages. Mutala will see it, all the people in the newsroom or in the establishment.
And be here, just stay here. Everything that will happen will be
We'll be updating
you. Absolutely. Because today we'll bring it to you live. You will not miss any one of them. So that is what we look forward to as far as today is concerned. Yes.
All right, Captain. Thank you very much. As always,
Lily.
I'll catch you on the flip side. So, welcome back to the show. This is still GH today here on GHOne TV. It's now time for the weekly review. And as always, the suspects are in Wilberforce Asari's legal and political editor, Sasu Radio. Mohammed, managing editor, the Custodian newspaper, and my boss. He's the head of political desk here at the IB Network. Ibrahim Alasan. Ibrahim, it's good to have you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, you were missing in action.
Last week, yes,
Yes.
I was far away in Abuja, and I'm back. So sorry to Audu and Co. I'm back.
Why is
I
this?
got the feedback.
Yes, I know why he's saying sorry.
I got the feedback.
Anyway,
We're chilling in Abuja. We're here struggling.
we're here struggling with the Ponzi scheme.
That's a good one.
Yeah, talking about that, the Obuasi West MP Kweku Kwarteng wrote a love letter to the managers of Ghana's economy that we're running it like a Ponzi scheme, charging the NPP that if they want to indeed break the eight, there are certain things that they need to look at it circumspectly. Let me start with you, Osofo.
This one should have been IB's friend.
So I'll let him, because he spoke to you, I'll let him have the final bite.
Well, okay, so quite frankly, when we had this recent economic challenges, when we had to go and renegotiate both our domestic debts and our external debts and what have you, I had occasion to speak to people who have financial backgrounds, and most of them were saying exactly what Mr. Kwarteng is saying today. Maybe they were not willing to say it publicly, but it has been the situation where we borrow, we use it to do stuff. It is time to pay what we borrowed earlier. We go and borrow again, and then we use it to offset. And so it was a cycle of borrowing, dealing with your debt, borrowing, dealing with your debt, and it is not sustainable.
Yeah.
In fact, some people were investing in government bonds and what have you because it was the safest. Worst case scenario, government will go and borrow and come and sort you out. And so it was the safest place to go when everything else wasn't working. But we've done that over a period of time. And when there was a little global crisis, it exposed us. You no longer, if you are in your right senses, you don't have to go back to that route because it is the route that has gotten you into the crisis that you are in. If you are working to get out of the crisis, why do you go back to the very thing that brought you into the crisis? Because we never know whether there will be another pandemic in 2 years' time, or there will be another pandemic in 4 years' time.
Even in 4 months' time.
Yes. So I don't, in principle, I don't disagree with his call. I don't, except to say that he is supposed to be an insider.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they say that you don't wash your dirty linen in public. So if you are an insider and you have access, unless he's been denied access, when I say access, I'm talking about access to the powers that be. And all these people who are managing.
So you say, okay.
So for me, if you have access, then you deal with it that way because as it stands now, he's still a member of parliament.
Yes.
He might not be the chairman of the finance committee.
But he's on the committee for economy.
Yes. So he still has influence. And so when he said what he said, did he tell us what he thinks is the way out of it and what he's going to do to contribute to get us out of that cycle? Because all the processes that are ongoing now are all aimed at making sure that we recover from the impact that we have suffered because of the way we've been managing our economy, not from yesterday.
No, over the years.
Over the years. So I don't disagree with his call in principle, but I'm only concerned about the way out and the process to get us out because it's not sufficient to complain. Everybody can complain. Everybody. If you ask me right now to complain about the problems I have, the challenges I have, I will complain. But it doesn't solve the problem. So I'll rest my case over here, not to say too much. I'm looking for the way out. So they are the people in the space, the economic, is it economic committee now?
Yeah, Committee on Economy and Development.
And development, yes. So they should fashion a way out because he agrees that it is a prevailing situation. 92 under Rollins, 2000 under Kufuor, 2009 under Mills, 2013 under Mahama, 2016 under Kufuor, and if we are going to continue 2025 the same way, we probably are not going to get anywhere. So this is a good time. We've seen the problem. Let's deal with it. Find a way to deal with it.
Alaji. Senior Alaji.
Okay, let me also say good morning to viewers. And you see, I always say home because when something like this comes, I don't know how to begin. This is somebody who has been Deputy Minister for Finance before. He's been part of the system. You could go and check his comments about this economy when people were saying that things were hard when he was a Deputy Minister. He appears to be shifting away from what he believed in then when he was a minister. At that time, he didn't think that the economy was being run like a Ponzi scheme. That is my problem. And if you look at this current thing that he has brought up, it's actually, he actually wrote a memo. He wrote a memo together with 4 others to MPP leadership as far back as 17th May 2024. He wrote him in an internal memo to the party. So what has changed? Is it that the party has not listened to May up to now? How many months? Just 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
The party is not listening to him, that he decides that he alone will then write another one and take it
To the public.
to the public. What is happening? If you are genuinely interested in the governing party solving the issues that you think are pertinent in the memo that you have raised, why do you come out publicly to issue another one, a second one, to the public when you have initially given that to your party internally? So these are the questions people are raising. You may have a genuine concern about how things are going, but people also say that there may be some sour grapes somewhere that you want them to ripe. Because if you are genuinely concerned about this, is you have written an internal memo together with 4 others to the party, just 3 months, and you are racing, you alone decide that let me write my own epistle, and give it to the media. And you are saying that this is not directed just to your party, but all governments since 1992. If you look at it critically, it is more on this government. If you look at it critically, to say that, and this is now something that political opponents are using, that you are saying that this particular government is running this economy like a Ponzi scheme. Nobody is saying that you have written it concerning all governments. It's about all governments and not this particular government. But people are saying that because you are from within and you are saying it, then it must be true that President Akufo-Addo and his ministers are running a Ponzi scheme. And you think that, you say you are genuinely concerned about the future of this country, that you go home and you cannot hug your kids because things are going bad. He has been an MP for how long now?
IB for how long?
He came 2024. 2012, yeah, 2012. Yeah. 2012. How many years now you've been? He was actually government. He was a spokesperson for finance minister then.
He's going into his 4th term.
Finance minister then, Bauredu. He was actually speaking on economy. I never heard these coming out. I never heard those. The time he was defending government on the performance of government, I never heard that. When he was deputy finance minister, I never heard this.
So my critical question is, at what point did he realize that we are running a Ponzi scheme?
Precisely my point.
What did he do about it?
Exactly.
Because you were in the midst of running affairs of the country.
Exactly. So what did you do as an individual? I don't see what he personally has done. He's now telling us what he thinks government should do to reverse the trend, the negative trend. When you were there, what did you do? That's why people are beginning to question his motive. It may be because he's been left out And there are so many issues within the party and even government about his conduct. But you see, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he means he meant well for this country. And therefore, if there are issues that have been raised in his memo, I think the party should look at it. But he has given a talking point for the opposition to chew on.
Ivy.
Well, so these questions that all of you raise, I put these questions to him as to why now, and the fact that he was at the ministry. What did he do to get some of these ideas implemented? And he gave me the same answer that the MPP flag bearer has been given, that sometimes you disagree. You disagree with some policies, some initiatives, right? You do so internally. You don't come out to shout that, oh, I have told Kenuforiata not to go to the market and borrow 3 billion yearly. You can't do that, right? So that was the explanation he gave, that nobody should say that he just slept, woke up, and these ideas have just all of a sudden appeared in his head and he's sharing them. No, it's been something he's been sharing. And indeed, he indicated that this is meant for the party to implement. I asked him a direct question.
But if it's meant for the party, why bring it out?
Here's the thing. See, what Kokati is seeking to do is to be the fall guy for the party. Call it that way. Because take it or leave it, there are people who want these kinds of comments from people from within. You remember how we described Kennedy Japan and the things he was saying, and the fact that NPP as a party needed some of the things that Kennedy Japan was saying.
Yeah.
Politically. And if you speak from a political point of view, you realize that there are many people who are disenchanted. There are many people who think the vehicle we are on is not heading to the right destination. There are many people who think that the economic structure we've been running has led us to IMF for 17 times, so it's not working. There are many people who believe that. Then there's a need for that other conversation. What else can we do?
Exactly.
What else can we do? Yes, you can talk about the political price to pay. And trust me, if Kwaku had not gone for primaries to be elected as the NPP parliamentary candidate, chances are he wouldn't have won. That's a fact. It would have been a price to pay. But if you look critically at what he's saying, okay, so what did he say? We go to the capital market, we borrow. We use that to finance our budget, right?
Yeah.
In the past, we were told that we should never borrow for recurrent expenditure, i.e. paying salaries and buying for goods and services. But we got to a point where we had to borrow to do that. We had to borrow to pay public sector workers their salaries, right? Now, when we are going to pay the loans, you know how we do it? We borrow again to use the proceeds to pay the loan. And we borrow again. That is a Ponzi scheme. That's a pyramid scheme. When we talk about other schemes that have been flagged as Ponzi, how do they work? You come, you put your money there. By the time you deposit your money, somebody else's investment has matured.
Yes,
they will
you
use
take
your
that.
money to pay that and hope that by the time your investment will mature, new people will come. When the source of the deposit runs out, then the scheme will collapse. That is a Ponzi scheme. To it, we kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, and all was good with us until we're shut out of the capital market. We had to run back to the IMF. How many times do we have to run back to the IMF, right? So, yes, this is a conversation that is nuanced. It's good for the forward march of the country, but I think the challenge with many is where it came from. The fact that we didn't expect this to come from a sitting member of parliament who was a former deputy finance minister. But it had to come from somebody and from somewhere. It's the same message that came from the over 88 members of parliament who for the first time broke ranks and demanded for Kenuforiata's head. It had never happened. Where we have members of parliament belonging to one particular party come out openly, in essence, to force the president's hands that sack your finance minister. We had it. Others paid the price. Eugene Boateng and co. They paid the price. But I think as our democracy matures, will get there where it will not be a taboo for somebody from within to disagree and make that disagreement public. When I spoke to him, I asked him, many people believe that you are arming your opponent and that you don't want the MPP to break the 8. He said, far from that. He actually wants to point the MPP to a direction that will be convincing to the many disenchanted Ghanaians. Like I said, you can agree or disagree with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure December 7, and as I've always said, will actually either bear testimony to what he's saying and as to whether it's workable or not. I will have, for instance, ways that, for instance, in the name of politics, if he had written to the party, the party will come out and tell us what it's doing about what he wrote to them. Is there a paradigm shift? Would that be visible in the manifesto? You get it? Then I'll understand that, oh, the party was working on whatever he had written. So why did he come out and then stated the same thing publicly? But I think, like I said, there's a price to pay, and I'm sure he himself has realized that he's paying that price.
Yeah.
There are many who are calling him bitter. And I asked him that direct question, are you bitter? He said no. The president called him and offered him a ministerial appointment. Not a deputy ministerial appointment. Ministerial appointment, but he turned it down. And finally, he, of course, he blocked. And then in my interview with him, he confirmed that he actually blocked some tax waivers, a request that came to the committee together with others. And his belief was that it must not be exclusive to just a few companies. He thinks it must be opened. If you are offering tax incentive to industry, it must be across board, just so you don't create some level of unfairness. And that's his belief. And I asked him whether he believes that cost him his chairmanship at the finance committee. He said, what is chairmanship to a finance committee? He turned out the ministerial appointment. What is a chairmanship slot? So to him, he was ready, and he's still ready to do what he's doing, and he's ready for whatever comes on the back of it.
Lily, the tax waivers for the 1D, 1F companies, was it going to be the end of tax waivers in this country? No. So why don't you approve, and if others too come, you advocate that they should be approved?
Were there others?
Because they have the
first
tax
place-
waivers. They have the tax waivers.
Yes.
I am saying that
yeah.
it's not going to be the end of tax waivers for companies, Ghanaian companies.
So you deal with
There
what
be
was...
others. You deal with what is there.
Yeah.
Even if you genuinely say that you would rather want to help your party to win, you wait all these years when
But
you...
the argument of some people are that some
Yes.
of these companies are existent. Why now? Why waive the taxes now? Some of them can't afford.
No, some of these... Look at the companies. If you look at the manifesto of MPP, MPP never said, that's the mistake people are making, that government was directly going to do
Or build.
or build industries. That's not the ideology or the policy of MPP. MPP is a property owning party and liberal conservative party that believes in individual, how do you call it, property owning liberties of people.
And then lately, support for the private sector.
To
lead the
To
front.
lead, exactly. That is how it is. If you are government, you support the private sector to lead the engine of growth, to be the engine of growth of your country. That's what it has always been. So if you genuinely believe that what you are doing is to help your party, and the government has been running Ponzi scheme all these years, you were part of it, you wait till May this year. How many months to elections? If you are genuinely concerned, you wait. When you were there as a deputy minister, you have no concern about these things. You wait till May and you write something. You think that the party is working on it. You think the party is not working on it. So you alone will then write another one and give it to the media. Please.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
let's move on. The Court of Appeal this week freed Dr. Kisela Tofo Singer and the businessman Richard Jackman. But the Attorney General says he's heading to the Supreme Court because, according to him, it's unfair, especially against impunity. Let me start with you, Ivy, since you landed.
Well, so AG says the judgment was perverse. Yes, and of course, I think the statement was a bit milder. I heard the AG speak, and the words were quite stronger in his speech, right? Now, we've been at this for a while on this platform. We've spoken about this on many occasions. and the drama from the High Court, the freeing of or the acquittal and discharge of the two come to me as a surprise. Yes, it did. It did. And I'm sure it came as a surprise to many, including even the Attorney General, given his reaction. It came as a surprise. But of course, we must put things into context. After the state had closed its case by calling witnesses that it ought to call and leading evidence, it was up to the judge to determine as to whether the two accused persons had questions to answer. So after it was said and done, the two accused persons then put in an application or submission of no case that, given all that the state had said, led in evidence and then the witnesses and their testimonies, the two did not feel that they had questions to answer. So their legal teams submitted a request, an application of no case. That application was rejected or dismissed. And by then, Justice Efia Sewa Asaribochi then came to the firm conclusion that the state had established a prima facie case against the two. That's the first defendant and then the third defendant, Atuforsen and Richard Japa.
In fact, all the three.
Yes,
That
of
one
course,
was discharged.
subsequently, yes, subsequently
because of
one-
ill health.
ill health. So it was that ruling that the legal teams of Richard Japa and Atuforsen went to the appeals court, a court of appeals with the court of appeal. So they went to appeal that particular ruling. The case was still traveling. So they had to open their defense, call their own witnesses, and the drama that came with it. And so they were heading back to the High Court. But then they had a date at the Court of Appeals, and they went there. And this was the judgment that was handed down. 2-1 decision. Now, I've taken time to read the judgment. I'm not a lawyer, but I did something called logical reasoning in school. And logic is very important. What have I been able to cream from?
Does law not beat logic?
No, law doesn't. It must be logical.
Okay.
If
I wanted to find out from the
you,
lawyer.
you can't
I'm
pit.
not a lawyer.
But
Soon to be.
you
can't-
well, he's an incoming lawyer.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not a lawyer.
No,
He's
not
an
yet.
incoming lawyer.
Yeah,
Well, but I mean, you've been
Well
to law
read
school.
legally, let's put it that way.
So,
Yeah, well
I
read
mean,
legally.
Does it beat logic?
Yes. So
no, well,
yeah, the law should be logical.
the law should be logical.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the law should be logical. You
But
ca-
law usually is determined by evidence.
oh, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
you provide evidence, and
Based on that.
somebody may think that the evidence is not logical.
Yeah, I get
But-
it. Yeah, that's the person's interpretation.
yes.
But in law, it is logical, and that's how come it's been taken as it is. So, for instance, A beats B, right? It will be logical for court to say that even though A beats B, when A is innocent, or B is innocent, and A beat B, B should rather go to jail and not A.
Yeah.
When the facts point to the fact that B did nothing to A to warrant the beating, right? That's the point. That's the logic I'm talking about.
Okay.
So let me come back to the judgment I read. Ambulances were imported, right? Letters of credits were issued. Payments were made as a result of the letters of credit. There were clauses in the contract that demanded that there is pre-shipping inspection. You go to where the ambulances were coming from, find out whether they meet your specifications, right? And then give the green light for the ambulances to be shipped, right? These are all mechanisms that were put in place to ensure that things were done according to the contract, right? Good. Now, the state then says the deputy finance minister issued the letters of credit, right, without authorization from his boss. And that's a tepe. Per the judgment I read, the state did not find out from Setepe whether he offered his deputy authorization or not. And according to the 2 justices, that was fatal. If you are saying that somebody issued letters of credit without authorization, who ought to have given the authorization? The finance minister. Even if there is no documentary evidence that that authorization was not given, find out from that person. The person was alive. Find out. But the state did not invite Setepe. And that's the first fatality. Right. The second one is, when you come to law, it is presumed that every public official is executing the duties and responsibilities with a clear conscience and with a good intention until otherwise established. So, for instance, it is assumed naturally and legally that when Atuforsen was issuing the LCs, he did so with good intention. Now, until otherwise established that the intentions were not good, you cannot, from the word good, say that he set out to cause financial loss to the state. That is equally captured in the judgment. Now, the justices are simply saying that there are questions to be answered. Yes, there are questions to be answered. But these questions will be answered by some other individuals rather than the two.
Yeah.
For instance, Japa is the agent of the supplier. If there is something wrong with the supply, why leave out the supplier and deal with the agent? You can take the supplier on. The judgment is equally lending credence to this, right? And then, finally, you talk about the negligence of other public officials. Some of them dead, some of them still alive. The gadget scheme, the ambulances scheme, with the gadgets. Alex said before on this platform, and he was quoted by the state that he said the vans were not fit for purpose. Alex said before on this platform has explained that he meant that the gadgets and the equipment had not been fixed. So it was just tonto, as we put it, tontoa, right? So that was what he meant. Because, take it or leave it, even the Mercedes-Benz ambulances that we are using, the 275, when they came, the equipment were not in. It comes as an empty shell. And then you fix these things in there, right? So the vans came, the equipment were left there, and they were stolen. And if there's evidence that indeed the equipment came, but they were left there to be stolen, hold the people who ought to have ensured that the equipment were not stolen responsible and accountable. So that's the logic aspect of what I'm talking about. The AG has said he will go to the Supreme Court. It's well within his right. It's good. I was in Parliament when the judgment came. And I can tell you that the judgment is not just a relief to the minority. It's a relief to the majority. And I can tell you this. See, working in Parliament has become extraordinarily difficult because Atuforsen was on trial. Extraordinarily difficult because Atuforsen was on. You are sitting at the table with the same person. You are seeking to conduct his responsibilities and his duties, right? To help government govern. And you are in court seeking to jail the person. Even though legally there's nothing wrong, the law of natural justice must take its course. No two ways about that. If indeed you are guilty, you are guilty. It doesn't matter. But the practicality aspect of it is that it made things extraordinarily difficult. And people from both sides will tell you this as the truth. Now, I'm just hoping that this will not drag further. Because when they went to the High Court, the Justice Efia Asariboche said, no, I cannot attend to the case anymore. Because a superior court has made a determination, right? So, I don't know, probably Wilberforce will know how soon the AG will go to court because there's legal vacation. It has already kicked in. And they return in October. But I'm not sure it's applicable to all the Supreme Court cases. Maybe there might be some.
The Supreme Court is on vacation. The Circuit Court, I know, is sitting.
The district and the circuit courts
That
that continue to sit.
Yeah.
Okay. The superior courts of judicature on vacation, but the Chief Justice
Special dispensation.
No. So the Chief Justice always appoints courts to sit as vacation courts, but they don't deal with ongoing cases.
Okay.
They are just supposed to deal with new cases that will come up,
Okay.
and then prepare them for
The new
hearing
legal
in
year.
the new legal year.
Thank you. And so that's the point I'm making, that it's obviously going to drag. So imagine that if the Attorney General is going to the Supreme Court, that will be in October,
Yeah.
when the legal vacation is over. October, November, December, MPs are going to revisit their constituents and seek
yeah.
for their mandate to be renewed,
Yeah.
and what have you. After we're done with that, we are returning to the High Court too. If the Attorney General succeeds in quashing the judgment from the Court of Appeal, we are returning to the High Court for the case to continue. This is not a case that, in my estimation, can be dealt with this year, regardless of the circumstances. And that's how challenging it is. But, like I said, I will have wished that the AG was measured in some of the words he used. And I'm sure, by moving forward, I'm sure lessons have been learned.
No. I'll do.
All the words used in the letter are...
No, not just the
are
letter.
legal.
Not the letter. You have to listen to the
response,
interview.
sorry. Are,
Not just the statement. You have to just, if you had listened to the
have you
interview.
listened to reactions of people after the ruling?
Oh, but we are talking about AG,
The
the leader of the bar.
These
Yeah,
are
we are talking about the
this
leader of
is
the
the
bar.
Attorney General.
Yeah.
This is the Attorney General who is defending the state. Is that not it?
Yes.
Who is acting on behalf of the state?
Exactly.
And he has no right to make comments.
Oh,
and you
I
think
didn't
his
say that.
comments are harsh.
Okay.
It's about law. It's about law. Look, I do not want to go too much into it because people are talking, everybody is talking about this case, and politicians are talking, lawyers are talking, and everybody has his own view on this ruling.
Yeah.
Or is it judgment?
Yeah.
Is it a ruling or judgment?
judgment.
It's a judgment. Ruling is different. This is a judgment. Every lawyer that you ask either agrees with the ruling, judgment,
Yeah.
or disagrees.
Yeah.
There's no law. You don't have enough uniformity on
no.
this matter.
No.
Every lawyer you talk to will see something fishy or something wrong in the judgment.
Okay.
But some people would also say that this is sacrosanct. That's the beauty of the law. You have different opinions. That is why when you lose your case, there's an avenue for you to either go forward or end it there. The AG has decided that he's going to move forward to the higher court. So let's wait and see. But this thing is that if you go to court and you lose your case, do not attack judges. I have always said that if you have a bad case and you lose, blame it yourself. Don't attack judges. If you have a good case, you win, then say you have a good case. Don't attack judges when you lose your case. So this case has been determined, at least for now. I've seen some politicians make all manner of remarks. Now, all of a sudden, all the judges are good in this country. When they lose their cases, the judges are bad. We cannot have that kind of lawyers called you can't appropriate and reprobate. It's either when you lose, you know that you have a bad case. When you win, you know you have a good case. That's how people, right-thinking Ghanaians should think. It is not always that when you lose your case, all the judges are bad. But when you win, all the judges are good. So my attitude to this is that if there's a litigation and one side wins, and there's other side thinks that there's an error in law, the person can go further. And that's what the Attorney General wants to do. If tomorrow he decides that he's not going to pursue this matter, it's his discretion to say that, look, I am dropping the case. I'm not continuing with the case. But if he's so minded to go forward, it is his right to go forward. And that's how the beauty of the game. That's how the hierarchy of our judicial system, our court system. You go from sometimes, some cases start at the High Court, right? Some from Circuit Court up to the top, to the Apex Court. So,
do some cases start from the Magistrate Court?
yes,
Okay.
we have magistrate. You have cases there.
No, I was asking
So
if
it's
some travel from magistrate up.
So,
There are
so
some-
let's refer to the proper name. It's a district court.
Okay.
Magistrate is the one who
who
sits
sits
as the,
Okay,
as the
okay,
judge.
yes.
Okay.
So people call it magistrate,
magistrate
court,
but it's
I
a
think it's
district
a
court.
district
District
court,
court.
and then from
Then
there
you
the
go to
circuit
circuit.
court. So
Then you go to high
and then you
court.
go to the high court.
Then the
But it's
court
just
of
that
appeal.
the high court is always said to be the court of first instance.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason is because the two lower courts deal with the small cases.
cases.
In fact, murder cases, it starts from the district court.
Okay.
Because you'll be indicted by the,
By this
the
district.
district court.
Okay.
Then you
Okay.
now go to the
Move
high
to
court.
the high court.
Okay. Okay.
So, Lily, that is it. As I said, if the Attorney General decides that he's not going to continue with the case anymore, it is within his right. He can file nolli prosequi in any matter. If he says that he's going to move forward and go to the Supreme Court on this matter, it is his right. But the way people are attacking him, people are saying it's personal vendetta, it means that he should not even prosecute any politician. He should not prosecute anybody. The man is all over the place, outside this country, defending the state, getting money for this country that would have gone to individuals. And he loses one case, and all of a sudden, everybody from all the opposition elements are attacking him. You don't behave like that. You don't behave in this manner. You don't behave this way. And I actually sympathize with the Attorney General, because it appears to me there are people even within his own party, government, that are fighting him on this matter. That's my worry. And it may not encourage him to pursue matters that are deemed to be inimical to this state, to the state, because people within his own party may not be for him, may not be in support of him to pursue that agenda. And that's worrying to me. And he is now in many circles, if you speak to even people within government, it's like the man is hanging. He's been taken out for criticisms, even within his own party. And people, to the extent that people see him as, and that's why oppositions say that it's a personal vendetta. But this is somebody who is defending the state, who thinks that things are done wrongly and he wants to right the wrongs. But hey, it is his profession. He has to live with it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If you want to listen to people, you will not work at all in this arena. If you're an attorney general, you step on toes, even within and without. So I encourage him this is a young lawyer who I have known him my days at Daily Guide. He's been a lawyer for Daily Guide. Everybody knows him. And if you actually, people are saying, if you know Godfrey Dami as a lawyer, and the kind of things people say against him, you marvel. If you appear in court and you see the way he argues and his level of intellect, his competence, it's not in doubt. So if he loses a case like this and people are attacking him, I think he should take it in stride that it's part of the hazards of the profession, and therefore he should move forward. He should not be discouraged at all to be the lawyer that he is. Work forward. Look, after all, he's not going to be Attorney General forever. It's his trade, it's his profession. That's what he has practiced. He has learned to do. And he should not be discouraged by what people say. People will attack you. Sometimes I say that there are some people that this proverb that I always say, I always quote from my senior brother, ABF Husseini, the Proverbs man, that when somebody doesn't like you, even when you are swimming, the person you say you are generating dust. So yes, so he should just be calm and move forward, organize himself. There are cases that he has lost at Court of Appeal. He's gone up the Supreme Court. He's won many cases, not just as an attorney general, even as a private legal practitioner. So if he's so minded, as he said, to continue, he wants to continue, it's within his right. He can also decide that it's only attorney general by constitution who can decide that he's not going to pursue any matter, any criminal matter or civil.
Well, so quite interesting developments in our country, if you ask me. I was really taken aback by the decision of the Court of Appeal, and I was taken aback, and I decided not to comment or to write about it until I saw the judgment. And I have seen the judgment, I've read the judgment. The judgment is it's a 2-1 majority decision.
Yes.
And with my little understanding of studying law at the LLB level, whenever there's a dissenting opinion in a matter, be careful of it. And that's because of the examples in the UK, where there's a judge that is popularly known as Lord Denning. Lord Denning gave a lot of dissenting opinions. And then 2, 3, 4, 5 years after the dissenting opinion, his dissenting opinion actually becomes the law. And so I'm always mindful whenever there's a case. If it's unanimous, it means that everybody thinks that we are going this direction. But as soon as there's a case where 1 or 2 people think there's something different about it, then you must think twice. You must be careful when you are doing your analysis. I've read the judgment just like Ibrahim says he's read it. I think the full import of Justice Akabuafo's debate starts from paragraph 71 downwards.
71 or 74?
From 71 for me.
Okay.
Some people say from 74.
Yes.
But for me, from paragraph 71. And it's all about LCs, letters of credit, which was caused to be issued by the Deputy Finance Minister. But the judgment does not talk about the fact that it was an irrevocable letters of credit. All the time that we have been in court dealing with this matter, it has been that the letters of credit that was issued or caused to be issued by the Deputy Finance Minister then was an irrevocable letters of credit. The judgment or the judge does not talk about the fact that he was dealing with an irrevocable letters of credit. He just says letters of credit. But the little understanding that I have is that if you were causing to be issued an irrevocable letters of credit by way of the fact that you are Deputy Finance Minister or you are even Finance Minister, we have given you our money. And somebody is supposed to be supplying us with something. You are using our money to pay the person. And that letters of credit that you are issuing is irrevocable by both sides. So once it is issued, you can't come back and say that you are retrieving it. What that means is that there are conditions precedent that are set because you are going to spend money. When you issue a letters of credit, you're actually saying that you have money at the bank. You have told your bank that out of my 2 million, I'm going to buy something from somebody, it is 1 million. Set that 1 million aside because I'm going to use it to pay the person I'm buying from. So that is as good as money. Some people want to deny that fact, but letters of credit is as good as money.
Sure.
So if it is irrevocable, then the conditions precedent, you must be very mindful that they have all been fulfilled before you authorize it, because as soon as you authorize, you can't come back for it. So what were the conditions precedents that were set in this contract? Number 1 was inspection. That we will have an inspection of the equipment. Then number 2 was delivery. So I'm going to buy this phone. I'm going to buy 100 pieces of this phone. The conditions precedent for me to pay for the phone is that I must first go and see that indeed they are Samsung Galaxy 24 or some A24. And then after that, it must be brought to me at my location. Then when I see it, then I have fulfilled the 2 condition precedent. Then I can order that the irrevocable letters of credit should be issued. So if Mr. Atuforsen, as Deputy Finance Minister, caused an irrevocable letters of credit to be issued when, number 1, the inspection of the so-called ambulances were not done. And that number 2, they were not delivered. It means that the 2 conditions precedent for an irrevocable letters of credit to be issued had not been fulfilled. I'm reading Mr. Akabuafo's judgment, and I'm seeing, he says that, interestingly, this paragraph 71, interestingly, despite the very clear and unequivocal answer above that an LC, says an LC, he doesn't say an irrevocable LC, he says just LC, was not a payment but a guarantee. Mr. Ajmamenu later gave a different answer on August 30th, 2022, when he said that, per the terms of the contract, payment should be done by LC. Therefore, a request for LC to be established meant requesting for payment to be made. My Lord, due to the inconsistencies in the record of the evidence of Mr. Ajmamenu, I consider his later evidence as unreliable and place no weight on it. I completely disagree with the judge. Completely. Because he's just trying to tell me, a layman, he's telling me, a layman, that as a judge, he doesn't care.
Okay.
He doesn't care about he doesn't care about
The conditions.
the conditions that are supposed to be met, so that if the minister, the Ajmamenu was the then health minister, so he came to give testimony, and in one breath he says that, okay, so letters of credit is a guarantee. Yes, it's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Then another time he comes and says that the payment was going to be made by letters of credit, but there were conditions that had to be met, and you had to make sure that the conditions had to be met. So because he has said in one record and another record, and you think there's a disparity, you are saying that you will not rely on it. But as you are not invited to just rely on just what you are saying, you are also supposed to rely on what is true. What is true? What is true is that, yes, what is true is that if you are going to cause an irrevocable letters of credit to be issued, then the conditions precedent, they must all have been met. So the simple question is that if you were the one who is given responsibility of our exchequer, you control our money, and you are going to use part of our money to pay for something, and there are conditions that are supposed to be met, did you ensure that they were met? You said that it was not even the responsibility of the deputy finance minister to ensure that the conditions were met. Okay, so I have control over money. I'm the one supposed to be paying government debts. And we have a contract. And the contract says you must do A, B, C, D. And I'm the one who has the money. If I don't authorize the letters of credit, the irrevocable letters of credit to be issued, it can never happen. The what do you call it? The health ministry can go and do the inspection. They can go and do all those things. After all those things, if the finance minister says he's not satisfied, he will not cause the letters of credit to be issued, yet it will not be issued. So once you cause the irrevocable letters of credit to be issued, then it means that you have satisfied yourself that everything that needs to be done has been done.
All conditions have been met.
So and when judgments are given, all of us, lay people and everybody, we all have the right to
dissent,
to analyze it and to share our views. That's what I'm doing. I'm not an expert in this matter at all. I don't even pretend like I even understand everything that this judgment is about.
But at least common sense.
My common sense is just telling me, because I used to go to court. I used to sit in the court. I never heard in the court that they were talking about just any LC. I heard that they were talking about an irrevocable letters of credit. I heard it so many times in my years. You know, so I would just say that, well, if you ask me, I think the Attorney General has a fertile ground for an appeal. But this matter has become so political. It's no longer a legal matter. This trial, this issue.
That's taking a political turn.
It's a political matter. It's no longer a legal matter. Look, as we speak today, there are so many issues in the court which border on causing financial loss to the state. The people who are being tried, they don't have big names. They don't have big pockets.
Nobody's hearing of them.
Or they don't have big family name.
Is it not because of the people involved?
Yes.
He's a minority.
So yes, and that's why I'm saying that this thing is no longer just a legal matter. It's a political matter. So that's unfortunate. And whatever is going to happen in this matter, I believe it is going to affect in future our fight against corruption. Because if we say that, and I'm ending, if we say that a minister of finance or deputy minister of finance can sit in their office, cause letters of credit, irrevocable letters of credit to be issued without doing any due diligence. And when they do it, we say that it is a mere order for letters of credit. Then we are opening the floodgates for them. They will make payments. And when you go to court, we say, oh, it's a mere letters of credit. But
So, Lily,
it cannot be so.
let me just read what he has just said. An irrevocable letter of credit cannot be changed or cancelled.
Is it irrevocable?
Yes, unless everyone involved agrees. So if you issue a letter of credit to somebody, he has to agree that it should be revoked. You think the person will agree?
It's good you added the last part because that's what the conversation is all about.
You think the
If
person will
after
agree?
you issue it, the conditions that are expected to be
be
met
met.
are not met, and
Yeah.
all of you agree that the conditions have not been met, no payment is made. You can't go to market with a letter of credit. It's not money.
So you are supposing that you are saying that all the conditions had been met. That's why it was.
I'm coming. Let me read. He had an answer for you, so I was even going to read that. That's 76. He has an answer for what you just said.
Okay.
He says, I am of the opinion that the evidence does not show that by uttering the letters of August 7, 2014 and August 12, 2014, these are letters of credit, as we mentioned, the first appellant, which is Atuforsen, caused loss to the state or misapplied the property of the state. There is no evidence that the loss was caused as a result of an omission by the first appellant, Atuforsen, in uttering the letters, or he intended to cause loss to the state, or he foresaw the loss as virtually certain and took an unreasonable risk of it. There is also no evidence that the first appellant, Atuforsen, foresaw the loss as a probable consequence of his act and took an unreasonable risk of it. Also, from the record, there is no evidence to show that if he had used reasonable caution and observation, it would have appeared to him that his action would have probably caused or contribute to the loss to the state by the payment. Based on the record of appeal, I am of the respectful opinion that there is a lack of logical connection between the evidence and the finding of the court that a prima facie case has been established. He goes further to talk about the fact that even after the letters were issued, in the contract, there were supposed to be additional checks by way of inspection. No finance ministry can issue a letter of credit without a request from the MDA, that's ministry, department, or agency.
And they provided
so
it.
that request that came ought to have come with other triggers that would then bring about the payment. The payment was actually made after
And those-
correspondence between the ministry and then the finance ministry,
Let me ask a simple question.
the health ministry.
Let me ask a simple question.
Yeah.
Who will trigger the payment of the money?
BOG, that the payment will be done by BOG.
No.
But
Somebody will have to give authorization for the
The
money to
finance
be paid.
minister.
It's not BOG.
I'm coming.
The finance
so a letter
minister.
of credit is issued, right? And then the letter of credit is issued on behalf of the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
When the Ministry of Health is satisfied,
Yes.
the correspondence between Ministry of Health and the BOG, because the letter of credit then goes to the BOG, to then turn it into money. So if you go into the judgment, they talk about correspondence between the Ministry of Health and BOG. That triggered the payment. And that's how come Atuforsen is exonerated. That
So-
even after he issued the LC, there were further correspondence engagement between the health ministry and
the
BOG that resulted in the payment.
So
if there was anything wrong, it could have been
So
solved.
does that mean that after the issuance, he had nothing to do with?
That's the point. That's
Okay.
what the judgment is saying.
Okay.
That's what the judgment is saying.
So you see, the funny thing for me is that they the first
Anyway,
appellant
I'm
here.
not a lawyer, so
The first appellant here, who is the first accused person in the criminal trial, is the deputy finance minister.
Former deputy.
Yes, the former. The charge is simply saying that the former deputy finance minister caused an LC to be issued. He did that because probably it is his office that is supposed to do it. All other checks that were supposed to have been done before the LC was issued does not fall
Within
his mandate.
so based on what?
So, wait, hold on. Yeah, so I'm just
What
coming.
is the
So
latest
it
issue?
says that
Based on what?
the finance minister, who is in charge of controlling the country's exchequer, the money, our money,
Anyway,
he will sit in his office, and then somebody comes and says that Yakoto ambulance, Koneko Triaka. Then the finance minister issues the money, say, Koko Triaka. Even in our even in our house, when your child comes to you for money to go and pay something, school fees or something, you just say, oh, school fees near here. Okay, then you just give the money to the child, and the child goes to pay. Sometimes it is you, the parent, who will actually go and make the payment in the school's account. You are the one who will go and make sure that it's been paid. You follow up to the school to find out this from the school. Have you received the transfer? You understand? So we cannot make casual the office of finance or deputy finance minister. I see it as being casualized. And if we make it that casual, then we are just saying that the one who is seized with the control of our money, he can spend it any way he wants it. He doesn't need to do any checks. So the finance minister sits at the finance ministry, and then ambulances have been ordered. He asks, ambulances no makoda. Okay, aba na mbaye. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Say, sir, that's tabletop kind of management of our finances. If that is what we are saying should happen, then no problem now. Let's leave it. The finance minister should just be there. Everybody comes. He just pays.
Lily, just 1 minute. There's one information, a piece of information that is missing in everything, and not just here, everywhere. Do we know that Big C's had gone to court, and that the Attorney General had written to the Finance Ministry to ensure that these payments were made? Otherwise, the country risks paying judgment debt. It's in the judgment.
which Attorney General?
Oh, then this is Attorney General, obviously. Okay. Yeah, you get it. That is always missing from the conversation. That these LCs were triggered by the supplier going to court, seeking for judgment. Yeah. You see, that's the point. So sometimes the conversation must be having whole.
Yeah, that's right. So all these things must also be put in context.
Oh yeah.
So the supplier.
Just a question. Yeah. The Big C that went to court to get the money.
Yeah.
How come is a Big C? They say Big C.
Yeah, Big C.
We are hearing that they say they want to pay the money
because
back.
they wanted their equipment back.
Is
They
it Big
wanted
C
their
that went to the court or Japan's business?
No, they didn't say. In fact, they are not in court.
No.
That is why it baffles me when people say that, he should have, the Attorney General should have accepted the plea bargaining deal.
The 2 million euros.
Why? The people in court, have they brought any plea bargaining thing?
Oh, okay. So there are many who are saying that the supplier, that's the company itself, should have been part of this suit. And that the judgment is saying so. That
so when I read from
the agent, if you are suing the agent, why are you not suing them?
When I read this, it says that to that extent, it is my view that requesting the issuance of an LC on behalf of the Ministry of Health was not out of place by the first appellant as the Deputy Finance Minister. Yeah. It was done after the AG had received the notice of intention to sue for breach of contract by Big C and advise the Ministry of Health of the consequence of non-compliance. So Big C was not necessarily in court.
No, they were going to.
Let me ask a simple question again. It may not be. Why did government entertain Big C when the agreement between government and Big C was not ratified in Parliament?
Okay, so we are the judgment also talks about that. That was the name. I'm not sure what was on trial was as whether the agreement went to Parliament or not. That was not what the AG took to court.
Well, so yes, but that's what he's saying is that
no, I get you.
itself a problem.
No, I get you.
Yes.
No, I get you. But that was not what was taken to court. That was not what
the
the AG took to
gravamen
court.
of the issue is all about the finance.
So who pays the money now?
The deputy
Yes,
finance minister, where the judge is actually saying that. For me, what I see from my layman analysis is that you are saying that, oh, finance minister or deputy finance minister, issuing of letters of credit is not a big deal. It's his duty. So once you come and you request for it, it's his duty. He just issues it and just is gone. He pays.
It's not his duty to check.
It's not. He doesn't have any responsibility to do any checks. If that is what is the practice in
but that's
country,
what the law has said.
yeah.
Now.
If that what is the practice, hey, then this fight against corruption is going to multiply because we will make payments.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen. Let's move on to our next topic. Well, yesterday there was the Ghana Report Summit on misinformation and disinformation with Election 2024 in focus. And President Akufo-Addo was the guest speaker, and he mentioned that we should guard against the spreading of false news with the supposed Ejapadia document in hindsight when talking. He's refuted every claim made in that particular document. Aldo, let me start with you.
Ejapadia, you see, misinformation in any election globally, when there's time for election.
But Aldo, let's hear from the president first. Then you can continue. Let's hear from the president.
In the run-up to the 2008, 2012, and 2016 presidential elections, and Madam Sani, I'm not here to settle scores. I was the target of numerous false and malicious stories aimed at attacking my credibility and integrity. In 2008, baseless allegations of drug trafficking were spread, along with numerous rumors about my health intended to cast doubt on my ability to serve as president. President Kufuor was also accused in 2008 of having sold all of Ghana's gold reserves. Again, the 2012 election saw false reports of my alleged arrest in London for drug possession and fabricated quotes designed to stir ethnic tensions. In 2016, it was alleged by sympathizers of the opposition that I had killed my late wife. Today, with a few months to the December 2024 elections, they are at it again. A fabricated document entitled Ejapadia is being peddled around by operatives of the opposition as evidence of a grand scheme by my party to annex the assets of the state. These experiences underscore the importance of discerning truth from falsehood and the need for all of us to remain vigilant against the dangers of misinformation and disinformation.
Okay, so that's President Adadanko Akufo-Addo yesterday at the Ghana Report Summit organized by Rashida Sani Nassamo. Congratulations to you. Especially these are some of the things we should be talking about. I mean, from her background as a journalist, I mean, it's important that we talk about this thing. Especially to the run up as we run up to 2024 general elections. We'll see a number of
these things will come
false news, and with the advent of AI, we'll see a number of them flying across. President says, let's guard against spreading of all these things, especially with the Ejapadia documents. How do you on the floor?
I am saying that in any election, in the run-up to any election, these things will come out, even globally. US, for instance, they are battling it. Trump and his people are doing things against Kamala Harris. And I just listened to one of their strategists, the Democrats, and they said they are going to return those things they are churning out against in equal measure. And that has been my attitude in Ghana. That has been my attitude in Ghana. If you sit down, you have all the time to write a whole book and put a portrait of a chief as a cover, on the cover of the book, and say that one clan is trying to take the properties of this whole country, then you must be sick in your mind. You must be sick. Even Nkrumah, who the mention of Nkrumah raises some issues, was not able to do that. At the time when Ghana's population was just, when he was living in 1966, our population was just about 8 million. Even Nkrumah could not do that. And you think that in this era, a clan can take all properties of this state, and everybody will sit down aloof and watch. You must be sick in your mind. And I wonder how people will sit and write and have time to write a whole book. Look, have you seen the second version? Have you seen the volume of it?
There's a second version?
Oh, Japadier. As the president
So
said...
like volume 2.
Volume 2. There's volume 2.
What it is that that book comes out every now and then. And every time it comes, there's an addition.
Oh,
There's something that...
So there's a volume, addition, volume 2. Look, as president said, 2008, they started. Look, this whole thing started as GHOne Project. That was the name, the title. GHOne Project. And that, in that document, it was not only talking about capture of state resources, but also ethnic, it was finding ethnic tension between GHOne and Asantis. And that was, let me use a word, borrow the word, prior to 2028 elections and then 2012. That book was there. GHOne Project, 2008, sorry, and then 2012. The title was GHOne Project. Then it succeeded. President Akufo-Addo, then candidate Akufo-Addo, didn't win in those two elections. When it was going to 2016 elections, it surfaced again. It worked, it didn't succeed. Look, in 2016, there was this report by Africa Watch. If you saw the picture in front of Africa Watch, try to get a copy so that I'll show it.
Is that the one with the president doing this?
No, that one, president was actually giving some, no, he was on sick bed.
Okay.
And then giving some long race, and the disease they gave him, if he had that one, he would have been having those who suffer urinal problems. What do you call it?
Renal.
Not renal, urinary
Okay, so
tract
he would have had a
infection.
catheter.
He would have had this that you walk with. Yes, you wee whilst you walk.
Okay.
The disease they gave him, it was on bed and all that. And all this was to portray that the man was dying, was a sick person. He was unfit to lead. These things have been done by, you cannot say that it is limited to only MPP. Some other political parties have done it against other political opponents. But the level at which it was done, it was so nauseating and highly malicious. But it went on, and the president then won 2016 elections. Then 2018, the whole project turned into a Japadier project. It went on ahead of, in the lead up to 2020 elections, it didn't succeed. Now we are moving to 2024 election, and that thing has been, more information has been added, and it's now, I classify it as volume 2. You are saying additions, volume 2. It is now voluminous if you see the number of pages. It's a whole book. Somebody sat down and think that a whole calendar thinks that they want to hijack the properties of the state, will sit down and write a book like that and put the head of their family on that book. Gabby says something, you read it for us. You read it for us. It's so sickening. But you see, that is a game. I've said that if you're a political party, I'm not just talking about the political opponents that he referred to. If you're a political party, you want to win any election, you must be telling Ghanaians the alternatives. The alternatives are not what they are putting out. These are not the alternatives. Everybody knows that Ghana is hard. Everybody knows that. Lily, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Ivy, don't you?
Of course.
I know that Ghana, there are challenges. Like, it challenges everywhere. I know that. Everybody knows that prices are going up, things are hard. But what is the alternative to change that trend? That's what you should be telling Ghanaians. If you have a weak mind, you cannot tell Ghanaians on these matters. And you think that putting a book that not many people even read in this country, You want to propagate that. And people give credence to it. You have intellectuals, so-called intellectuals, professors, giving credence to this pure nonsense. I think that you should be sick in your mind. But let them do it. If this will help. This has not helped. It probably helped in a way in previous elections. If they think that this is what will help in 2024 elections, why can you prevent them from doing it? You cannot. Unfortunately, I'm not a lawyer. You don't know what law prevents somebody from doing these things. Somebody has gone to write a whole book on these matters. What can you do? You cannot prevent them from doing what they want.
Do you know the author of the book?
In fact, I have looked at it, and I can say in my mind that the language, the everything, I can pinpoint people behind the author. The language. Look, sometimes,
So who is the author of this book?
I honestly don't know.
he doesn't know. So you cannot. He doesn't know.
Ivy,
But,
do you know?
No, I don't.
no,
Okay.
but do you know?
No, I don't.
It's a fiction.
Is
Fiction,
it?
even fictions are written, they have
But
authors.
They have
fictions
authors,
have
yes.
authors, yes.
But this one has no author. Do you see? The author is allegation
But you can see somebody's handwriting. And
I can see the language, the brofo, the
I think
everything.
I also can see.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's
I
interesting.
can
That's
see.
interesting.
Then I'm
I
the only
see-
stranger in
No,
the
we
class.
are-
We are the only strangers
I
in
can
the
see
class.
the people behind this pure nonsense. I can see. But you see,
Please, the choice of words is too early in the morning.
Ghanaians
That
who
is
pretend
that.
too
No,
much.
no.
That
no.
thing,
No.
you think that people are so stupid that they will sit down and write all this and publish it? And publish it. You think that if you publish something, they will publish it to put in their closet and nobody will see it.
Let me read a quote for you. The quote you said you wanted me to read.
And read it.
By Gabby.
It says that if you believe a family will document its alleged evil plans against the very village they proudly live in, document it in revised copies of a book with the portrait of the head of family boldly on the front cover, then please have your head examined.
So,
Unquote.
unquote. So, Lily, this thing about misinformation, disinformation, is not just limited to politicians. It's journalists are doing it.
Even the ordinary Ghanaian.
Ordinary Ghanaians are doing it.
People sit behind their machines,
their
their
machines.
phones.
Look.
Especially on Twitter, now X.
You see, and
that
is the reason why,
and
look,
disinformation churned out
Twitter.
there.
Twitter, I have a Facebook account. It came to it, I even forgot my password. Twitter, I'm not there. Instagram, those things are for ladies, right?
Why?
You like those things. You have,
Pictures and all that.
you have Instagram, you have X,
Yeah.
Yes.
you have Facebook,
Yes.
you have WhatsApp, you have all
I have a
those things.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
I have a Telegram.
You have a Telegram. You have
TikTok.
Do you do
I have
TikTok?
Yes.
WeChat is not common in Ghana.
No,
No,
that's
I
not common.
no.
That's our version, the Chinese version of WhatsApp.
Yes.
WhatsApp.
So we prefer WhatsApp.
Okay, WhatsApp and all that.
Even on X lately, I'm not too visible there.
Yes, you see the kind of things that people write there.
Yeah.
Sometimes my friends send me messages. I say, so people will say that they don't work. They'll sit behind their computers or with their phones, and all they do is to backbite, insult people, and that's what they do for a living.
And it's cyclical. We've seen this government in, government out.
So they do all these things for a living, and I say that if you have something doing, you will not engage in gossip. If you have things to do for yourself, you will engage in character assassination. Look,
That's
Lily,
true.
when I get up early morning, what I think of is how to get money and take care of my family. That's what I think of legally. I don't sit down to backbite. If ahoya, I don't do ahoya in my life.
How will that benefit you?
How would that benefit me?
Will
So
it-
if people will think that,
will it put money in my purse? Will it put food
let
on
them
my
continue.
table? Will it help me go to our base? No,
No,
I cannot
it
pay for
cannot,
our
it
base.
cannot pay. No, why would I go there? So let them continue.
I
That's
mean,
true. Okay, so there are people who get paid to do these things. So to them, that's employment.
Okay.
Right? There are
okay.
people who get paid
It's
to circulate
true.
these things on
It's
social
true.
media.
It's
Yeah.
true. I heard that.
Yeah, there are people who get paid
I heard
to do that.
But me, let me,
Oh, yeah.
if look, I've said it plain. I know these days, if somebody assassinate your character, somebody malign you and all that, you
can
take
go to court.
take to court and even when you can't get the money.
Yeah.
I have said it. if IB attacks me, my integrity, and I know I have that integrity, and I meet IB,
Which one?
If it's right back.
I'll beat IB. I'll say it.
This is violence.
This is violence. This is too violent. Yes, this is violence.
Yeah.
You cannot
No,
take the law into your hands.
So you take the person on legally.
Yes, you need to take the person on legally.
Or you go to National Media
I
Commission.
have said no to so. Listen, nobody should come attacking
Please.
Muhammad.
Please.
It's not the first time I've said this on this platform.
No worries.
Violence. No. You cannot take the. We are journalists. We cannot take the law into our own hands.
But we
When a
understand that. We
journalist sits on radio,
That is why you have.
when a journalist sits on radio
That is why
and
you can
says that
seek legal
Audu
redress.
Muhammad is a thief, I have not stolen anything. You want me to go to court?
Yes.
Tell that journalist that you should not tell me I'm a thief.
That's okay. You have said that. Yeah, you have said that.
I have
The
said that
journalist
too.
has heard that he won't call you a thief.
If he calls me a thief and I know I go to court, I will not succeed and I'll beat me. I'll beat him out.
Please.
Don't
But
say I'm
what if
Let
that
us
journalist can
understand.
beat you?
Exactly.
Say you will fight. Say you will fight.
I
Say-
know,
no,
I
you
know
fight.
where I'll take my fight.
I
You
let me
people
hear
here
you so we
anyway.
can hear.
Anyway, so
Obi
basically,
akoka che me say me to abama eyi aku ba omi ani na po me aboa.
somebody said that.
We said it here.
Okay, okay. No, so don't
It's
give me
okay.
talking,
Let
like I
Audu
said.
not say anything.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
Before NMC calls us.
misinformation and disinformation. See, all the political parties are guilty, right? Then I'm sure that's why the president said he was not there to settle scores. Because trust me, if we were to wake up the late President Mills and put him on that podium, his list will have been taller than that of the president.
Hey,
I'm telling you, if we were to wake up Emisata,
hey.
do you know Emisata was described as a gay? And you know
Yes.
how far that went. You have no idea what that means to a family man.
Yeah.
That's
know.
the point.
I know.
Yes, that's the point I'm making. So, see, they are all guilty.
Hey.
Do you know a certain Martin Daly?
Killing your wife.
He was the owner of DKM.
Yes.
Do you know they said DKM belonged to the Mahama family?
Yeah.
And then the M was, they actually had an acronym for it. The M was Mahama. Today, the Martin Daly is a proud member of MPP and it's been put out there. And Bruce Derry has come to say that, yes, it's his constituency and it's an MPP man. So these things they do in the name of politics.
Yeah.
Our own flyers have been taken by people and then the messages changed and circulated by known persons on social media. They do it. It is wrong across board. If we are drawing the line in the sand and saying that, you know what, we cannot continue on this tangent of maligning people, fabricating stories, and what have you, in the name of politics. If you are told the story of Papano and the impact Papano had on the political campaign of 2020, it will shock you. In 2016, getting to 2020, it will shock you. So, if anybody, all of them should get the opportunity and list the things, you will be shocked. But the bottom line is that it is wrong, regardless of where it's coming from.
So we need to correct these wrongs.
We need to correct it. And you, the listener, you, the viewer, you, the reader, don't be too gullible. Gone were the days when you felt whatever you heard on radio was the sacrosanct, was the gospel truth, and you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Sorry to inform you, the politicians have changed that. So it's no longer the case.
And not just some of us journalists have changed that.
Oh no, journalist politicians. That's the point. There are some journalists who are politicians. Really, that one there, yes. It's just that they might not openly tell you, but that's it, right? Some will openly tell you, like Audu. Audu means no words in that regard, and that's good. You see, stand for something or fall for anything. Once you are standing for something, let it be known that you are standing for that thing. It happens elsewhere in the developed communities. Now back to the Japa document. The first one I saw was in 2017. I'm just learning that there are different versions, right? So yes, once again, I'm a student of logic, right? And I know for certain that if I want to commit murder, even if I'll document it differently. I will not document that murder that I'm going to commit and make it public. Right? That's a fact. Now, there's also things that can be written for you. based on somebody's assumptions and somebody's imaginations. Some can be factual, some can be inaccurate. I think the conversation around, and I sat here and said that I would have wished that the Ochin, but then it was Ochin never even gave it oxygen. Because there's not a book you will find in a bookshop. Go to the Legon bookshop this morning and say you want to Japadia. You won't find it there. Meaning it's not been printed for sale. Usually it's just circulation on social media, right? There were things that were said in there. The first time I saw it in 2017, I think I saw the bit about the banking sector cleanup, the bit about some state agencies and how some individuals were positioning themselves to take over the leadership of those institutions, the bit about, I think it talks about the internal politics of MPP. If there are newer versions, I'm not privy to, I have not seen it, right? The conversation, I think, is being used by those who propagate the messaging around state capture. That's it. So the Japadia document, in essence, is just fashioned along the state capture conversation.
So
right?
the new version has state capture
in there,
properly.
Okay. I've not seen that one. So
the previous editions didn't have state capture.
Yes.
Now they have added
They've
it.
added it.
And they've added some few more names.
Oh, okay.
Maybe next week, the new edition, to have Awudu and myself, our names in it.
Or maybe myself and I. You never know.
You may not be part.
Yeah, we don't have anything. Yes, you are right.
It's not about having something. It's also about affiliation.
That's
okay,
true.
okay. I get you. So the point I'm making is that we've heard the president. Viewers, listeners, readers, be cautious about how you circulate information that you have not been able to verify, right? But politicians must also take it up and ensure that what, if done to them, they are unhappy. They must equally not do to others. But more importantly, the Ghanaian, I think, must be very discerning and reading between the lines.
Yeah.
I know your time is up.
Yeah, but
So for me,
go ahead.
For me, I actually have this feeling that disinformation and misinformation is not going to change. The people who do these things on social media, I don't think they are going to stop. And that's because it is a whole industry now. And if you
Is it also because we have failed to crack the whip a long time ago?
Well, social media is not, there's no gatekeeper on social media. Who is keeping the gates of Twitter and of Facebook?
That's true.
I keep the gates of what we do at Asase. You keep the gates of what you do here at GHOne and all that. There's a gatekeeper. There are gatekeepers at different levels.
There are traditional media houses that do not keep gates at all.
Yes, there are even traditional media houses now who do not even keep gates. How much more those on social media? So for me, I don't think that it is going to change because there's no gatekeeping. There's no filtering. People just say things, they don't filter what they are saying. I filter what I say on Facebook. I filter what I say on Twitter if I ever go there. I go there once in a year. But people don't filter. And people can use, look, recently, people use a lot of very terrible words about me, my person, because I had written a story that they didn't like. And they came out attacking me. Some people even went to take pictures of me, my previous pictures, and they were using it and using it against me and all that kind of stuff. So I'm only.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I should see.
Somebody post a picture of me wearing my clerical.
Really?
And put below that the clerical I was wearing. I wore it to go to speech and prize giving day in my school. Or for school.
That would be
funny. You know, so I am of the candid opinion that misinformation and disinformation is not going to change. I appreciate the president's concern, and the president has a thick skin. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he has a very thick skin, and he has braced through all of these. And
because he's been through a number of them all these years.
At his age 80, now, I always tell young people who think they have the audacity to attack an elderly man like him, I always tell them that pray to God that you will even live beyond 50 And that even if you live up to 80, pray to God that you can walk like He's walking. I pray. I always tell people to pray.
Walk and swag.
Yeah. I've seen people who are 60. They are now 62, 63.
They can barely
and
walk.
They are struggling. So when I see young people going that route, I cry for them, because look, you have to be very careful what you say about.
But what happened to us? Is it that our moral fiber is gone? Because you see, hitherto it'll be very difficult for a young person to attack an elderly person. Even back then, when we walk into buses, these churches and commercial buses, when we see an elderly person, we get up for them. Today it's not like that.
Well, that is a whole discussion.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Yeah,
topic.
it's a whole topic
We are in a
for
state of
discussion.
anomy. Look, these days, if you have leaders of political parties, not just one political party, encouraging hate speech, encouraging insults, encouraging all manner of evil things, you have these things happening.
That's true.
So, look, we have moved away from the normal cultural setting into an arena that now is becoming difficult to control. As he said, misinformation, disinformation, or whatever you describe will continue. But you see, we are having some discerning minds who are able to decipher pure, you say I should not use the word, pure and truths. And truths.
Thank you.
The man is filtering. He's trying to filter.
You see, he's filtering. Yes. Now we are coming.
Okay. So these things will continue. And what we need to say is that, look, people should be discerning. IB has said it. We are having more people being educated, enlightened. But you see, unfortunately, some of the things that are being done are done by highly enlightened people. Some are even professors. You wonder how
They are
Look.
teaching our children at the university.
They are teaching-
You took my time. I didn't invite you.
okay.
Yes,
Taking
you
my
didn't
time.
like
Okay.
But you know,
I'm sorry.
yes, it's fine. As for you, you are I can forgive you.
You are the basement.
If it was somebody else, I won't forgive you. But as for you, I'm forgiving you. You know, so there's another thing that I wanted to talk about, which is this principle of clickbaiting. So now social media has brought about this issue of clickbaiting, where how many likes do I have?
How many
views do I have? How many followers do I have? And so you always want to do something that will encourage will bait people to click, so that you have all the likes and everybody. In fact, now we even have social media influencers and big time companies. Big time companies
are using them as ambassadors.
And all that. So there's a good side of this social media, because for some of these influencers, that's their employment too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's their employment. Social media has employed them. So all they do is post your goods and services on their page. People go to like and click, and they get paid. That is not bad. That is good. If somebody like me,
Maybe I should.
nobody knows me. Like me, nobody knows me that much on Facebook. But if people get to know me a little bit, and I have maybe like 200,000 followers, and so some company I would do has intention of building a clothing company. So he has a clothing company. I would do style or something, and he brings it to me, and I put on my page, and 100,000 people go to like it, and because of that, 10 of them go and buy the shirt. We are doing business.
Yes.
It's good. We are fine. But the other side of it is when people just want to put out things there, and then they get people clicking and liking it, and it makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel influential and strong. Then we have a little bit of a problem. So I'm only asking that, because of the position I've taken, that disinformation and misinformation is not going to stop today, because the president has spoken about it. This Ejapa document, it is going to come in another 1 month. Trust me, we will bring you the next edition. It's not going to change, if you ask me. But it is good that we talk about it.
Yes.
But for the ordinary Ghanaian who is listening to us, all of us who are listening, watching, hearing, just know that you are you are worth more than taking what somebody says on the face of it. You are worth more than that. So for everything that you hear,
Yeah.
and yes, I can't you for kind. Say, who cry, cry, say, you go bisa.
Yeah.
Any matter that comes, bisemu, pensemu, ask about it, find out, get to the bottom of it. But say, Obi catch now say, hey, what it? Yes, say, oh, papa, you Jimmy for no offer. Hey, yes, me papa, you Jimmy for now the name. No. And I say, yo, that's what we came about with this April Fool thing. Yeah. People were doing April Fool to people. And have you heard? They say this person is dead. Hey, there you go. You go and type. He's dead. What? What check did you do?
Yeah, we don't do fact checking.
So I'm only cautioning that it is us. That it is the ordinary people like us who are the target of the misinformation. When you hear the information, pause first, and then then you can make an informed decision. But if they tell you something, you take it on the record, the face of the record say, hey, no correct, then you are doing yourself a disservice because a bit what to assemble. That alone could bring you yourself problems. So I'm just cautioning the consumers that be mindful. I'm not, as for the disinformation people, as we are sitting right now, somebody is preparing the next level of disinformation for this country. Some of them very responsible people. As we are here, they are preparing it. And they are listening to us and they are saying, hey, but we, the consumer, you have the option to, they used to say something about Shami. What does it mean?
To sift through.
About Shami. So you have the power to Shami. So Shami. And those then take it like that. Shami.
Unfortunately, Lily was talking about, you were talking about views and clicking and all that. You see, people have created sites. And because Ghanaians, many Ghanaians patronize rubbish on social media, they sit down, what they do is to manufacture things and they pour them out. And people will be watching, people will be listening, and they are getting money out of it. Why are some radio stations or TV stations not reining in their members? Because of this same issue about viewership and clicking. Because even when the people are fooling, they think that Ghanaians are so happy in watching and enjoying it. So why do I stop the person from fooling? Because I'm making money out of the fooling. So why do I stop the person who is fooling for me? That is what is part of the problem. So what are we doing as a country to even stop these, including the media, how do you call it? Oh, social media. What's the other one?
What's the name?
Mainstream
media.
No, there's another one. How can we stop them from entertaining people who are churning out these things?
Okay, the mass media. The mass market. So like the locals.
No, the traditional. I need the
traditional
media. What are we doing to media houses who are encouraging people to churn out these things? What are we doing to media houses who are doing it? We have National Media Commission. Do they have the teeth to bite, to act? We have NCC who are supposed to be educating people. What are they well resourced to be able to educate people on these matters? What are we doing as a country to stop the traditional media from engaging people who are spewing out this rubbish? What are we doing? Because we all sit down and complain. If we allow them to continue, we'll continue to complain. They will continue. They will not stop. How are we stopping them from continuing? That's the way forward.
Lady, I agree this is a Herculean task, to be honest.
It is.
Because sometimes it might not even be orchestrated or formalized. Somebody will just go on social media and type something. Right? So, for instance, yesterday, and that was quite instructive, I saw Joshua Kojo-Mensah, my colleague, sent me a post somebody had put up, asking why we keep pairing Tinia and then Malik Basintale. Meanwhile, Tinia was on the set yesterday. but that was the post
Was not-
somebody
was- was not-
was
was
not.
not,
Yeah.
supposed
Nah,
to
see, it
be.
was not
It is-
supposed.
yeah.
Meanwhile, the show was
ingrained.
ongoing, oh.
Yeah.
And then the person had just gone to post that. Meanwhile, Malik was on the set with somebody else.
With Dr. Jacumobing. Yeah.
You see, so that's it. How do you? keep this?
You recall that before the late Teresa Kufuor passed away.
Yes.
For
She had
about
been
2 or
killed on
3
many
years,
Yes,
occasions.
She had been every year.
yes.
Kufuor himself has been
Yes,
killed many times.
yes, yes.
Former President Kufuor himself
So
You see,
has been killed many times.
you see, and that's the reason why I'm saying that. See,
Even
on
before
social-
Amma
on
Bin
social
Laden
media.
died.
Oh yeah,
On so many
Countless
occasions. Yes.
See, if the political heads decide to rein in their members, it will be a very good start because it starts from there, and that's much more deadlier.
That is my problem.
Seriously,
That's what I've said. I've always
you see,
said.
if the political heads decide to rein in their members, we'll make headway. But for somebody typing because you can be tracked and you can be taken on. There are laws against
They are
misinformation and
enjoying it.
disinformation, right?
The political
but
leaders.
it's because sometimes people sit there in the name of agenda setting, right? They write things about their political opponent and give it out to their boys. This is how we are going. Spread it. Haven't we seen statements from the presidency that in the end turn out not being statement from the presidency?
Exactly.
Haven't we
Anytime.
seen statement from the office of the former president Mohammed
Yes.
that eventually
With logo,
they-
everything. Yes.
Exactly. You get
See,
all the.
They
All the features
all
are
have
there.
setup. There's
Exactly.
a setup. Somebody sitting behind a computer,
right.
and there's an agenda. Let's
Yeah.
go. They
You
type.
see why I'm saying that
You are
it's
right.
not going to change.
It won't change, my sister.
So it is the consumers. Because the intention
But
of
they
these
know
people,
there's market for it.
Yes,
So why would they
that's exactly.
There's
That's
market
it.
for it.
So the intention of the people who put this out there is because of you, the consumer.
Yeah.
Me, the consumer.
But you consume it.
Yes.
So
So the
they'll give it to you.
consumers, for me, my major focus is the consumer.
Yes, but sometimes they also create the consumers. You say, we're putting this out, and then they inform their consumers
Yes.
on social
Yes,
media.
yes. So-
Go share it and write it. Share this and write it. They create their own consumers. So they are the suppliers, they are the
whole
consumers.
industry.
Yes.
Yes, that we need to regulate social media, mainstream media, so that we can be able to curb a number of these things.
Lily,
Otherwise,
the only way we'll stop this thing, as IB said, is for the top,
Yeah,
the political leadership to act.
Yes.
Because if IB is my boy, IB is doing something.
And I fail to call him to order.
How can I justify that I am not behind IB? When everybody knows that I send IB eats
Yeah.
with me,
Yeah.
he
Yes,
sleeps with me
yes.
and all that.
That's
And yet he misbehaves. I cannot stop IB.
Just yesterday, I saw something very funny. Some people are starting their agenda thing.
Oh,
and
yeah. I also
They,
saw it.
yeah, they wrote a certain story with a certain headline,
Yeah.
and they started sharing it. Then one person saw it at the very beginning
Yes.
and alerted and says, "Have I seen this?
Yeah.
What is there?" And it is coming from
It's
a place where
yes.
you will be shocked
Where it is coming
where it is
from.
coming from. You know,
And
No, even for us,
they are
as
spreading it.
hosts,
Yes.
there are days when, I mean, your
Yes.
panelists
Yeah.
spew certain things, and if it's not in favor of another political
Yeah.
party, then they give you names.
They come after you.
Yesterday it happened, and I was.
Also, you're either an MPP person
Yeah,
or
Or
an
NDC
NDC.
person.
person,
Depending on how
on the
it
day.
Exactly.
Exactly.
How things go on the day.
So yesterday I was an MPP person.
Yeah.
2 days ago I was an NDC person,
exactly.
and I get to laugh all the
Yeah.
time.
It means you are
because-
doing a good thing. Because see, sometimes to genuine information, genuine interviews that you have put on flyers, because it's unpalatable to a section
yeah,
of,
yeah.
Yes, particular
of the
sect,
public,
yes.
they target fake.
Yeah.
but
And
that
they
is why-
slap the fake thing on it.
So that is why for us journalists, you must just note that your work, it will always
Will be
be
scrutinized.
accepted by one side
Yeah,
and not
and
the other side.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I have written stories that made people in the NDC not happy. I have also written few stories that made people in the MPP
Not happy.
Not
Unhappy.
happy. So
Look,
you have to just
Lily, you are a host. As a host, you want to be impartial to all
Exactly.
people who are there. But you, if you, Lily, you sit on radio and you want to make your own comments, views, I will never fault you if you support one thing or another. That is your view. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you believe in. But if you are a host, you must be impartial to all. And that's what has always been my beef. If you are a host, you must show that. Look, I always cite the example of Trevor Phillips. Trevor Phillips says Sky News.
Yeah.
The man is a known labor man. sometimes when he's interviewing Labour people, what he does to them, you'll be shocked. But when he's expressing his own opinion on matters on UK, he expresses them as a Labour man.
Martin Pebu met me and said that I was a spinner because I had written a story about him and he thinks I was spinning him.
Yes.
But it was a story out of a judgment from the court.
Also spinner. GHOne Society. He's legal and political editor. Asasi Radio, Audu Mohammed is managing editor for the Custodian newspaper. And our very own Ibrahim Al-Hassan is head of political desk.
Lily, before we go, yesterday I went to the regional fire office. I'm pursuing a story and I met D.O. Edmond Clotte, right, from the Greater Accra Fire Service Command. And he says he watches us every morning, so we should say good morning.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And then,
good morning.
Yeah, so good morning to you, D.O. Edmond Clotte of the Greater Accra Fire Command.
Oh, that's
good morning.
good to know. We appreciate you.
Good to hear.
I bought my classmate, Abo is also watching. He sent a message and asked me a question to ask. I will do an overflow. But that question I can't answer.
I would have given you an answer.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Ask the question.
Thank you too for staying tuned. Then we take a break here. Let me also say special good morning going out to my beautiful women. We are called Pearls of Wisdom, and to our founder, Dr. Emi Odro, all the way in California in the United States. Good morning to you, all beautiful.
Yes.
He has exposed yourself.
Yeah, the affirmative action bill now passed.
Yes,
so you've been empowered.
Everybody knows where I stand. I'm a feminist, and I've never hated it.
No, she's a foreigner Ghanaian.
Oh yeah, Lily there. Lily in America.
That's what I mean. That's
you make my boss not sign my leave. Anyway, we are back shortly. Stay tuned in. Welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. My name is Lily Mohammed. It's Friday. Let's head to the church. Today, a lot of us will go for all-night services. So let's give you a precursor to the all-night service. My guest this morning is Bishop Dominic Newlove Aloti. He's founder and head pastor of Living Faith Ministries International. And they have a conference coming up. It's something that all of us need to be part of. Good morning to you, Bishop.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm doing well.
I'm also
wonderful.
doing.
What about you?
I'm blessed and highly favored myself.
Wonderful.
How's ministry going?
It's going very well. God has been good to us, and we're moving ahead, both in the U.S. and also in Ghana.
Oh, you have
Yeah. That's where I actually reside.
Okay.
What we do here is we call it one church in two locations.
Right.
So I'm pastoring both churches, but our main church is in the U.S. New York. Yes.
But how has it been? I mean, founding a church in the U.S. as a non-citizen.
Yeah, it's very challenging because you are in a system where everything is against you. Your last name, your accent,
your color,
your culture, your color, your everything is against you. Then you didn't school there, so you really don't have a lot of classmates like if you have school there. You know, of course, I have the opportunity to go to Oral Roberts University later on. And but if I'm here and I was schooled here, it would have been a little bit different. Yeah. But it has been good. God has blessed us. We have one of the thriving ministries in the city of New York.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We just finished our New York conference with Dr. Bempa from Holy Hill.
Oh, yes. Doctor.
Dr. Bempa. And then...
he's a good friend to the station.
Wonderful. And most Reverend Sam Crunchy Ankara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had a very awesome conference 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So we are back on this side of the Atlantic for our conference here.
It's called Covenant of Increase.
Covenant of Increase.
That's a beautiful name.
Yes.
Covenant of Increase.
Yeah, Covenant of Increase.
Why Covenant of Increase?
Because God covenanted with his people in the Old Testament. And that covenant is a covenant that assures his people of blessings, increase, and prosperity. The Old Covenant is the covenant of increase and prosperity. The New Covenant is a covenant of redemption. So that's why he said that the Old Testament was faulty because it couldn't bring us to God as sons, but it brought us blessings. So Jesus came to die to ensure that we will come to the Father as sons and daughters, no more as friends or servants. Yeah. But covenant of increase, because a lot of people don't believe that it is the will of God for them to prosper. People have
that's a very critical area.
Yes, people have a lot of conceptions about success and prosperity. But personally, I say that if you take prosperity and success from the Bible, it will cease to be a Bible. Because God himself is a God who thrives on success. Everything he does prospers. Number two, God did not create anybody to fail. God did not create some people to succeed and some to fail. Nobody is created for an experiment. At the same time, success is not cheap. And
like that.
Prosperity is not magical. You have to work your way through proving principles and adhering to laws and regulations that ensure success with the blessing of God. The blessing of God ensures that you will not fail if you apply yourself to the principles, godly principles of business and success.
So there are a lot of people out there who says, but me to what I've been serving God, I've been going according to the dictates of the Bible, but I'm still where I am. Does it mean they are missing a cardinal principle?
Very. This is the way I put it. Your circumstances can never change God's word. But God's word will change your life and your circumstance.
Okay.
I'm yet to see anybody who adhered himself to the principles of God's word and God has let down or God has failed. As a matter of fact, God's principles doesn't fail. Most people, I have realized in this part of the Atlantic, we go to church, we are involved in the emotions of church, but we are not actually practicing the principles. Look at Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. He said, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but thou shalt meditate day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written. For then you will make your way prosperous. So God gives you his word. So through his word, you can make your way. God doesn't make anybody prosperous. You make your way prosperous. That's what the Bible says. So if you are failing, it's not God's fault. As a matter of fact, personally, no demon can make you fail. You understand? If you determine to succeed in life. Because success it has to do with determination, persistence, and application of proven laws and principles, plus the blessing of God over your life.
Does it mean that the people that are leading the flock then are leading them astray?
Yes or no? Because there are people who are really teaching the word of God and showing people that you can succeed. It is the will of God. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Then there are other people too that wishes people to be poor. They want to keep them ignorant and poor so that they can keep on controlling them. Why? Because the power of the oppressor is in the maintenance of ignorance. As long as I can keep you ignorant, I can keep you oppressed, and I will take advantage of you. I realize people go through deliverance for how many years, and they are never delivered, and what kind of a God that can't deliver you once and that's it, If the Son of God shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. You see, so a lot of people doesn't want others to be free, to have their own mind and to make their own decisions, because then they lose control over the people. But it is not the will of God for another human being to dominate another human being through ignorance or whatever means. So that's what happens. That then there are other churches, there are other men of God that are teaching the word of God and encouraging people to put their faith to work, that they will succeed, it will be well with them. And they are doing that, and they are succeeding. I say it all the time, that if you sit under my ministry for 3 months and you don't see changes in your life, tell me, I'll stop preaching the gospel. I say it boldly, and I can give you proving testimonies of people that sat there. I said, this is the way. This is what you have to do. You can't come to church and do nothing. Yeah. He said, I'll bless the work of your hands. So find something to do. Apply the principles of God's word to what you are doing. It is the blessing of God that makes you who you are. It's not the work you do.
What then do you say to people who organize church services during weekdays and working hours?
Yeah, that personally, it is very wrong. You understand? It's very, very wrong. It's once in a while you have a conference, you know, and then you organize like a Friday for business people or Wednesday. It's once in a while.
Yeah.
But to make it a regular thing in Ghana, where on Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning, sometimes Monday morning, the people went to church on Sunday. Why do you want them in a church for? Let them go to work. There is a time for everything. Exactly. There's a time to work. There is a time to serve God. So me, I don't really believe in those kind of ministry, and I frankly don't accept invitations to go and speak anywhere where people are gathered on a Wednesday afternoon when they have to go. The banker have to go to work. The one who works for insurance company must go. They have to lie to come and sit there for what? You know, it is totally wrong. You know, we have to, you know, prioritize, you know, time to serve God and time to work. You know,
I think these are some of the reasons everybody must be at the Covenant of Increase Conference.
It was wonderful.
What are some of the things you talk about?
A lot.
We
talk about a lot. We talk about, you know, there are certain cultures in Africa that destroys business. One of them is what you are talking about. Yeah. You know, where you leave your shop for a caretaker, you go and sit in church for another 8 hours. By the time you come to your shop, the young girl there sold some things, took some money. You know, you have a pharmacy shop, okay? Instead of you to manage it, you leave the pharmacy shop to somebody else. You are home doing nothing. The pharmacist you hired also bring drugs there to come and sell. Yeah. So now your drugs are not being sold. He's selling his drugs in your shop, you know, and then you don't understand why you are not succeeding. It's not Satan. It's not God. You know, it is a culture, you know, that people believe that I can just hire this person to work and then stay home. It doesn't work. You have to be involved in your own business. You must be involved. You know, certain cultures, you know, you have a saloon, you know, and it's not a church. People don't come there to worship. Yeah. Okay, so when you start imposing church, you know, on your saloon, you're going to lose customers. You understand? These are some of the cultures. Then there are actual proven principles like hard work, you know, like integrity, you know, like managing other people's business for them. Then God ensures that because you are taking care of my business, you also have your own business. There are principles that every business idea or business principles that we know today have its root in the Word of God. Every business principle. That's deep. You know, and as a matter of fact, poverty is a state of the mind before it becomes a state of your pocket or whatever. So, and the Bible encourages us to renew our mind, you know, and so if you don't think you can succeed, you will never succeed. You have to first, it has to be here first. Yeah. Okay, then you get up, you have the persistence, I call it stickability, to be able to stick to something until you succeed. You don't fail because you failed once. You failed because when you fail, you refuse to get up. You understand? You go through challenges. You have to have what it takes to get out back. It's a business. It's a family. It's a church. It's you know, get back up and start moving again. And so yeah, these are some of the. It's just principles that we're going to teach. You know, based on the proven word of God. You know, yes. So that's what it's about.
I see some notable speakers with you on your flyer.
Yes. Yes, Reverend Richmond Kweku.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of
Yes,
mine. Yeah.
proven man of God with a lot of integrity.
Yes.
And then also Ebenezer Makwe, Dr. Ebenezer Makwe, one of the proven men of God in Ghana here, you know, with a proven call and a solid work of God here in Ghana. You know, these are some of the people that will be speaking along with me in this year's CUA. This is the meeting one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first one. And my agenda, I was telling the church, I said, I'm not here to baby sit people and feed them and maintain you in your status quo, you know, and then for you to depend on me. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to upgrade you. I'm here to tell you that you can become somebody. I'm here to tell you that you can change your life. Even if you come from a poor family and there is poverty in your family, you can break out of it and you can become the record breaker of that family. And you can, through you, other people in your family lives can turn around. It is possible. You can do it. Because all of us come, I came from a very poor family. But thank God, I was able to break out of it through the same things I'm teaching. And I'm telling them, what I'm teaching is what I've experienced. I will never teach anything I've not experienced. I'm teaching the same principles I've applied. It's the same principle I'm going to teach. By the grace of God, New York, we have been able to do great things there. You know, a lot of properties and a lot of work we have done in New York. Here, we have done the same thing. I've seen people that I shared a few thoughts with them, and they took it to work, and it has worked. I met a lady at Joy FM telling me about a few things I taught her in my house. And then she went home and told her husband, and they put it to work. And today, they have been able to build a house in a matter of 2 years, which means that everybody is born to succeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
Yes.
It's from the 4th to 11th of August.
August, yes.
Every 6 p.m.
Yes,
Where, Rema
6
City?
p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. every evening, you know, and then the Saturday morning and then the Friday morning, we want to have the business people. We want you to come and ask questions. Just come and ask questions. Why is my business like this? Why is it that nobody is coming to me? Why is it that people are going to this business and not my
mine.
business? Okay, and let's brainstorm with you and talk with you. And then after it, I'll take some time and sit down and talk to people one by one. It's free. We are not charging.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we don't charge for these things because, I mean, God has blessed me.
So this is the first of its kind.
This is the first of its kind over here. As a matter of fact, this is the ministry God has given me.
Okay.
My ministry is about business and finance and prosperity and the blessing of God and success. And so when I go anywhere around the world to preach, when I'm invited anywhere, that is why they invite me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I've not had time in Ghana to put up any program like this and pour my heart to people. You see, if you have to go to school, you have to go to school. You know, there's a young boy that came to, he's a security guard in my house. He came to my, he hears me talk. People come, and then I didn't know he was
listening.
He was listening. He said, listen, what this man of God is saying. You know what he did? Went back to school. Went back to school, went to Legon. Through, this just last year, he had a scholarship. And now he's in England studying. Can you imagine? If he didn't hear me talk, he would have remained at my gate for the rest of his life. And there are many, many people who are in places that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Some of them have condemned themselves to be there. Some of them, others have condemned them to be there. Others too, Satan has put them there, thinking that they can never become anything. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Everybody is destined to succeed. That's why you are different, I'm different. Our fingerprints are different.
Yes.
All of us are here to fulfill an assignment. God will never spend his time making a nobody. He will never spend his energy and his time making a nobody. Okay, you are already a success story before you came here. Okay, and so if you follow certain godly principles, you will succeed. Yeah.
That is why all of us have to be at this
Yes.
conference.
Yes.
Listen, it says, unleashing abundance, empowering futures. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you don't know your next move. This is the place to be. Covenant of increase. Want to help you increase in every area of your life. Not just ministry.
No.
It could be anything you're doing.
Not just ministry.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we are going to veer out of ministry into business, and then also personal success.
Right.
Personal success. You know, God will heal you, but God doesn't give you health. Health
I like
is something
that.
you do for yourself.
I like that.
Okay, and it's another area of success you need to aspire for. Otherwise, you die before your time. It's not Satan, it's not God, it's not demons, it's you, because you cannot manage your health. You see, so these are different aspects that we'll be talking about, you know, and I believe that it will be a blessing, a tremendous blessing, if they are able to find their way and come to be part of it. Yes.
So do you hope to do this annually or biannually?
Yes. I want to do it annually. I want to do it. I want to pour my heart because God has blessed me. And I think that this is what I can do to help the next generation come in. Okay, so you don't spend all your time in church. I'm a pastor. I don't encourage anybody to spend. God, just praying will not make you successful. As a matter of fact, prayer is not in the success equation.
Right.
Okay, prayer is not in the success equation. You have to apply diligence. The Bible says, seeth a man diligence in his business, he shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mere men. He didn't say, seeth a man powerful in prayer. No, it's a man diligent in his business. So diligence must be applied in your life. Discipline, diligence, focus, priorities, and all these things are part of the things you need. Okay, and find the right formula that works for you and stick to it.
Find the right formula and stick to it. Let's all head to Covenant of Increase Conference.
Thank you.
4th to 11th of August,
Yes.
6 p.m. each night.
Yes.
And the Friday and Saturday, all of you who are into business,
Yes.
we're opening up our brains to you.
Yeah.
We're opening up our space to you to come and learn the rudiments of a successful business.
Yeah.
It's Rama City, Ashali Buche, 4th to 11th August, 6 p.m. each night. God bless you, Bishop.
Thank you
for
so
the work
much.
you're
I'm
doing.
grateful.
Thank you very much. So that's Bishop Dominic Alote from the Living Faith Ministries International Church. And there's Covenant of Increase Conference coming up. You all need to partake in this conference. Let's head to the tech world. Okay, it's now time for Tech Daily, and Kobe Spikey, the millionaire, is in the studio. I'm a rich man's friend, yeah. Kobe, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Lily, I'm good.
Yeah, you know, we've been learning about how to successfully grow your business, grow your life, and so for millionaires like you, it's important that we associate with you. What are you teaching us this morning?
So, you know, it's Friday, so let's talk about what's happening in the world of tech, and specifically tech news. So, Lily, you're talking about millionaires. I like that you started with that. But what if you had a company that a tech company wanted to buy for about $23 billion? Would you sell or would you not sell? Our company, 23 billion. Listen, you said million. I'm talking about billions. I'm talking 9 zeros. Would you sell or would you not sell?
If it will grow, I mean, we're looking into the
What
future.
can't go with $23 billion? Eesh, I'm thinking, it'll be a very hard
Yes,
question
it will be
to
a
answer.
very hard decision to make. Listen,
But
the
this
money I
company-
can get and then misuse it. Okay.
Well,
but
yeah.
if it grows, maybe I can make more. So
Well, most of the time when these companies are acquired, they still work within it, but then you work under the company that acquired you. Take, for instance, WhatsApp. When it was bought by Facebook or
Yeah.
Meta as it is now, they continue to keep all the employees there, even gave them shares. But I mean, the creators of WhatsApp did leave eventually because they felt that it was deviating from what they created. And there's a company called Wiz, which is a cloud-based, Israeli-based cloud cybersecurity company. And Google wanted to buy them. And Google said, here's $23 billion. These guys went to think about it and said, you know what? We won't sell. They didn't sell for $23 billion. And Google, I mean, it's a big blow because Google is very big in the cloud infrastructure. You know, you have Google Drive, you have all your Gmail. Everything that Google does is based on the cloud. And a lot of businesses also use Google services to run their stuff. And so having a company like this handling cybersecurity for the cloud would have been a plus for Google. But the company says, nah, we won't sell. Now I'm beginning to wonder, is it that they're getting a bigger offer? Or is it that they actually believe so much in their dream that they want to stick to it? And the truth is, they actually did go public recently, and they got a very good round of funding. So I'm sure they can forecast that 23 billion, chicken change. Now, moving away from that, we're still within the money area. Charlie Tech, there's a lot of money flying in tech. Oh. You should come and join me, you know? Come to the other side. Come to the tech side. Move from that side of your screen. Enter this side. This is where the money is.
I know.
So,
I will gravitate towards you.
Yeah, come. Now, here's an interesting thing. In the previous news was good stuff. This is bad stuff. So bad, guys. You've heard about ransomware, where malware is installed on your computer and it encrypts all your files and asks you to pay a ransom. That's like kidnapping your computer or kidnapping your files and asking you to pay a ransom before they release it to you. A company or a group called Dark Angels, a hacker group called Dark Angels, actually just received $75 million in settlements, ransom settlements for their ransomware that they infected an undisclosed victim. So yeah, they don't want to tell us who paid that money, but boy, they must have had some very, very serious information or very valuable information to fork out $75 million to Dark Angels saying, please release our files. We'll pay you whatever you need. I see there's a risk when it comes to ransomware because what if you pay and then people say, you know what, like you pay 75 million, you have more. Let's make it 100.
Bring more, yeah.
You know, so there's always a risk, and people are advised not to entertain them because once you do that, it also empowers them.
Yes.
With this money, they could invest in a lot more resource, a lot more tech, and create more ransomware. But I'm pretty sure that the companies that were infected or the company that was infected thought about it and was like, we have to pay because their files were actually very important. Moving on from that, the all too famous ChatGPT. If you're not using ChatGPT already, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Work smart, don't work hard, you know? Yes, you're saying, say you've been using it to do your assignments.
My lectures are watching.
Yeah, lectures, you have to allow. It's just like using Google at this point.
You know,
yeah, but change it small. Like, don't just copy and paste.
Well,
Lily,
I
telling you.
change wordings.
I've been telling you, don't copy and paste. Change it. You know, make it yours. Anyways, so ChatGPT is about to launch a new advanced voice mode. If you've been using ChatGPT 4.0, you know that it has a voice mode that you can actually interact with.
Yeah.
It sounds very natural, unlike the Alexas and the Siris. Now you can chat with ChatGPT, but they're telling us that they're bringing in an even more advanced voice mode, but it's going to be for paid users. So if you're not paying, sorry. But yes, if you're paying and you do get it, it's going to give you a lot more features than the basic version. You still have the 4 voices that the voice actors made, and it's not going to impersonate anyone. And OpenAI, that is the mother company, ChatGPT, says that they're going to put certain limitations or restrictions on this to prevent people from creating copyright content. So you can't ask it to do a song in the voice of Lily or Lantam or Sewa. No, you can't do that. Also, you can't use it to create harmful and explicit content. You can use it to do productive stuff.
Exactly.
Yes. So watch out for that if you're a paid user of ChatGPT. And moving on from that, the Olympics is actually, this is one of the most technologically advanced Olympics because there's so much happening. You have private 5G, you have them using Samsung S24s instead of the big camera I'm looking into. And because of how the Olympics, have you been watching the Olympics?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Neither have I, but I've been catching glimpses. Because a lot of the stuff is happening around the city. And some of it is even happening on the Seine River and all that. And there's very interesting things that are happening. And number one is that they created their own 5G network, a private 5G network for the production, for the organization and everything. And they're getting very crazy upload and download speeds to be able to send files, broadcast. So most of the stuff that you're watching and you're seeing clearly, guess what? It's being broadcasted with this exact phone, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. That's what you can see over there. Now, the reason why they chose these devices is because they're light and they can be on the boats that they are capturing the stuff from. They can't use the camera I'm looking in because these are big and they're heavy. And on a boat, imagine my cameraman on the boat, shooting the Olympics, and then some shaky comes in the water, and the camera goes into the water. And also the weather has been rainy. And the phone is also waterproof, so killing two birds with one stone. And I'm very impressed because 5 years ago, we would never have been able to achieve something like this, using a smartphone for a big event like that to broadcast. And not only is it Samsung that's getting some hype, Orange, the network provider in France, is the one that's providing the private 5G network in Paris. And they've created this. There's a lot of stress for them because they're the only network. When we look at Tokyo Olympics, it was about 5 different networks, and in France, it's just one. So they've done a lot. They're serving about 120 venues, and from transportation centers, athlete training grounds, all the games, Orange is actually providing very good network, 5G. And if you know anything about the videos and stuff, these are very, very high quality videos, like HDR quality videos that they are transmitting from the devices through these networks to the production centers, and it must be some crazy stuff. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing the breakdown of it. So as I mentioned, yes, a lot of the live streaming is happening with the Samsung Galaxy S24, and Cisco, the networking company, is also providing the networking backbone. Cisco is a big dog in the area, so it's understandable if they're involved in this and doing all of this. And they've been doing this for a long time. They did it in London 2012, Rio de Janeiro in 2016, Tokyo in 2020, and they've even secured Los Angeles and the Paralympic Games. Moving away from that, finally into a lighter side of tech news. Do you know Pavel Durov, Lily?
No.
But do you know Telegram?
Yes.
So the CEO of Telegram, or the owner of Telegram, is called Pavel Durov. So he's like the Mark Zuckerberg in Russia.
Oh, I was going to ask if he's Russian.
Yes,
yeah,
he is.
his surname, yeah.
Guess how many children he has?
1?
100. So he said 1, add 2 zeros, so 100.
He does
But
have 100
he's
children?
never been married.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Well,
do you know how he got those 100 kids?
did he adopt them?
No. So, tell you a funny story. He actually posted this on his blog. Said a friend of his came to see him that they were having trouble, having kids. So he offered to be a sperm donor. And we went to the sperm bank and donated his sperm. The man is a very, very brilliant man. So obviously, his
And he's
sperm.
very muscular. He's a fine man.
Yeah, you're feeling him, eh?
He's
Me
a
too, I'm
fine
going to
man.
hit the gym.
Oh, I don't
do the
like men with
pose.
6-pack.
Oh, you like 1 pack?
Yes.
Now we're going to invest in 1 pack. So yeah, his specimen was obviously preferred by a lot of people who were trying to have kids. So biologically, he's fathered about 100 kids all over the world. And he says, okay, so he's going to open source his DNA, and so that his biological children can find each other easily.
Wow.
And it's good because you don't want your son and your daughter falling in love with themselves later on in life. But once he does this, he'll be able to prevent that. And guess who came to respond to his post? No other than Dada Elon Musk. Who came? And then he said to Pavel Durov, he said, rookie numbers. And I added, laughing my A off. And he also called him Genghis Khan. And we know Genghis Khan is responsible for a lot of the people that came, the Mongolian people, a lot of their DNA, a lot of them are ancestors of Genghis Khan. So he's laughing at Pavel Durov. But he's saying rookie numbers means that Elon Musk might be onto something.
Yeah.
If you have 100 kids and somebody's saying rookie numbers there, then it's serious. So yes, that's what's happening in the tech world. Money going around and babies going around as well.
Of course, money and babies going around. That's a good one. Thank you, Kobe.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you later on the flip side. So that's it for Tech Daily. Let's do some celebrations now. And thank you out there for staying tuned in from 6 a.m. all the way through till now. I appreciate you a lot. And I appreciate the people behind the scenes. I say this. I do the talking. The real work is behind the scenes. Camera, sound, light, and floor. My producers, my directors, switchers, and everybody who make this show possible. Thank you. My name is Lily Mohammed. Have a great day. Oh, and enjoy your weekend. It's a long one. I'll see you.